Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate pre-show and after show goodness. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Now, we're currently in the in-between stages between two debates, so I'm going to pass over to the live panel so you can enjoy the dulcet tones of whoever is in there while I set up for the next live show.
Sure, to take it literally means to consider the context and the genre. You're ignoring all that and saying, what, don't you ever heard of fiction before? That's idiotic.
I'm saying... No, what I'm saying is that inside your literal book that you take in literally, there are things that are not possible with the
there you go.
Physics.
You made a
Can you stop
declaration.
for a second? Can everybody stop for a second? There's his point of contention. Regardless of the accuracy of the book, the things within it are not possible. You have to focus on possibility. I'm not saying this. I'm clarifying his point.
Okay.
He's claiming that these things are not possible, regardless of the accuracy of the book or the eyewitnesses. He's saying the eyewitnesses are mistaken, etc., etc. You have to focus on the possibility of the claim itself, not on the book it's in. That's what he's arguing.
Yeah, they're all thermodynamics violations.
They are not thermodynamics violations. You don't even know what the second law is. What's the second law of flat Earth?
Oh, God.
Here we go. Pretender clown, whatever.
Here we
clown.
go.
Come on. No.
You're a clown.
We managed to stop it. Stop. Everyone
Clown.
stop. We managed it yesterday. You even said you would prefer a thermodynamics conversation at flatness. So come on. Let's try and keep it civil.
Yeah, but there's no point in getting into a conversation with this idiot because he'll just tell me that I'm a clown.
The jake's up for you, clown show.
But
You
Theo's
don't even know
point,
its second law.
Theo's
Theo's
point got interrupted. Theo's point got interrupted
Where's
because
Jake
now we're
Blake?
off track. Theo just
Where's
made
Jake
a point
Blake
about the
at?
point that Anon was making, and now all of a sudden we're on something else.
What
So
are
let's
you
stay
in
on
here for,
track.
Slick? No one asked you.
Yeah, no one definitely asked you, John.
Yeah, no one either. Everybody was
Second law of
talking.
thermodynamics. Give me a break. He doesn't even know what it is. Ask him what
he
is the
does.
second law of thermodynamics, Earth Flattenhead?
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Theo, Slick James Johnson, Paul, Flatten Earth, Bible Literalist, Arwin, Anon, 10th Man, and Quantum Eraser. Very good to have you all.
Hello. I'd like to ask Anon a question, unless you're going to do housekeeping, Nathan.
I'm happy to dispense with housekeeping because there's a very good conversation going on. That, and I've also got a problem with the video I play in the background. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, I will say this, but since it's kind of a new show, and I will say this, it's kind of funny that we're having this conversation right before Easter. So I will say, as a Christian, kudos. But I would ask this. We've asked this question yesterday, and I don't think Anon really truly asked it, but I think I know. And this will relate to what Theo's saying, so don't think that I'm going off track. What evidence would you, to believe in a miracle, to believe something as a miracle would occur, what would be the standard of evidence that you would require, Anon, for that proof?
I don't believe in miracles.
Okay, so if you saw a miracle, you would automatically dismiss it because you don't believe in them.
Yeah, I would basically assume that it's a circus sideshow. You show me a miracle that is some, guy coming back to life. I'd say, okay, he was probably stung by that spider that reduces your heart rate to very, very, very low, and you couldn't hear it. Now you back up to life.
Okay,
or
so
if
then
you
real.
claim that if you claim there's some that you said, oh please God help me with wind, and then wind came and then it split the sea in half, and then you got to walk through it while your homies with all your friends, and then your enemies got washed off because right then the wind stopped blowing. Okay, that's just utter nonsense, as Nathan puts it. Nonsense.
All right, so wait a second. So he says he doesn't believe
I don't
in
want to
miracles,
talk to
right?
you.
Define
Seriously,
what
go
a
away,
miracle
man.
is.
You're just so annoying. I don't even want to.
Define what a
here.
miracle is.
We spend hours without you. Now you're back.
Then define what a
voice.
miracle is.
Shut up.
You said you don't believe in miracles. I want you to define what a miracle is.
Bullshit, nonsense, fake.
Yeah, there
trick.
you go again. See, you're just a
and
clown
then you blame
show.
it on on
You're
some
just a clown
magical
show.
Force
Define a miracle.
Okay, yeah.
Support your claim.
Yeah, I munch on crayons. That's all I do all day.
That's obvious.
I'm an Elmer Fudd. I'm an Elmer Fudd.
Listen, we don't need to
listen. I'll define it for you. I'll define it for you.
Okay.
A miracle can't be defined because there's no such thing.
That's sort of a circular reasoning, isn't it there, buddy?
Good one.
That's kind of circular, isn't it?
That's your life.
Yeah, that's right. So you said there's no miracle. So a miracle would possibly or probably be something that would go against nature, correct?
Sure.
Like I said, I made my statement. There's no such thing as a miracle.
Let's talk about life.
There is no such thing.
Right? I want
this
you
is the
to
first
tell
time
me
I'm going to
because the
agree with.
basis of life.
Hold on. We don't need three people talking at once. So there was a response, John.
Shit, Slick. Shut up, Slick. I'm not talking to you just yet. I'll get to you in a moment.
Hold on, John. So Anon did respond. He said there's no such.
Shut up, John.
He said there's no such thing. Let's keep this on track. Come on, be reasonable, people. Right. So Slick said there's no such thing. Not Slick. Sorry, Anon.
Yes,
No,
and I asked
there's
him
no such thing, and I agree with him.
Right? You both
he has to define what there's no such thing is. So there's no such thing as what? You got to define that thing which is no such thing of, right?
You're just using that as a diversion. Quiet down.
No. Let's keep on track.
No, that's valid.
We're talking about miracles. Oh, God, we're talking about miracles. Anon says no such thing.
Yeah, sounds pretty retarded, right, Nathan? Miracles sounds stupid as hell.
Well, we got to define it first, there, clown.
Why are you getting on top of John? Why aren't you getting on this clown for?
I don't have a horse in this race. I don't care either way. I'm trying to keep the tone civil. That's it. That's my only.
I could put it like this. Miracles are about the equivalent of Santa Claus.
Okay. Thanks for that, Slick. That was very
scholarly
defined. Thank you. We could probably define a miracle as something that goes against nature, right? Something that goes beyond the nature. Would that be fair?
Thermodynamics.
Would that be fair?
That violates thermodynamics.
Yes.
Clown.
You don't even know what thermodynamics is. Shut up.
Yeah, apparently neither do you.
That triggers him.
It to deceive us.
It's so funny.
But what? Santa Claus goes against nature, so that would be an equivalent.
So something that goes against nature, right? And you don't believe in miracles. Okay, so all life is based on DNA, right? I want you to give me. I want you to give me. Hold on, Slick. I'm not done talking yet.
My DNA.
So yeah, DNA. All life is based. See, they won't let me talk. That's the only tactic they have.
Trying to deceive everyone with
Because
this
you're a
DNA
clown show.
argument, saying
That's
that
all you
DNA
are.
is programming.
Elmer Fudd
DNA
that should be
is
picking
the
up cans
ingredients of
alongside of the road. You can't shut up. You're like a baller.
You first.
I'm going to treat you like
first,
ballers
loser.
now.
Oh,
You
God.
got baller
Okay,
Tourette's.
hold on. So did we get a definition of miracle?
Of course not.
They've not come to
Because they're
consensus
tap
on it. I agree with
dancing.
John.
They're doing the Ali
They did
rope-a-dope
already. You
because they're
guys just
clowns.
missed it.
Go ahead, Anon.
That wasn't me. That was Theo. He said something.
Yeah. Anon already explained what his interpretation of a miracle is. You guys completely missed it because you're too busy on your steamroll.
Sorry, Anon.
I missed it too.
Apparently, I missed it too. What I was saying is, if it's against nature, is that? But that's what John
Well,
is
Anon,
saying.
what you said.
How
What you
about an
said
extra dimensional
Hold on,
interface?
Arwen. Oh, God. Go ahead, Theo.
What Anon said when he was being pressed was, it's something that's impossible within our reality. So it's an impossibility within the reality we exist. So from there, you have to define what is his boundaries of reality. What does he think reality is? Is it purely physical mechanistic processes? Is consciousness present? All of these parameters.
But I'm a bit confused now. If that's Anon's definition, my understanding would be that would be semi-correct, right? Because it's not supposed to be possible within our reality, if you want to use the word reality.
Right. Well, let me give a baseline for a reality in which some things could never happen. For example, a purely materialistic worldview. There's no such thing in that as consciousness. There's no such thing in that as spirits. There's no such thing in that as extra dimensional entities, etc.
Oh, like the Globers have.
Any of those things to exist in that reality.
Like the atheists have. Shout out to Chow Yun Fat Cat for the super chat. Really appreciate your support.
So my question to him, going way back to where his points first got starting derailed, is he made an analogy between God stepping into reality to converse with his creation as a computer programmer trying to converse with his video game. And immediately there's a paradoxical difference between a sentient entity and a video game entity. Isn't that the case? So my question would be, do you believe that a human being is the same as a video game character? Or do you believe a human being is a sentient soul?
Are you talking about simulation?
No, I'm talking about a human being. What is a human being?
Human being is it's basically a meat machine that has input and output. Input is the sensory, output's shit and piss.
Okay, correct. Correct interpretation.
Hold on. Can everyone stop? Right, so you're saying
I'm taking this guy somewhere, John. If you want to wreck my train with a grenade, then quit being an ass.
Thank you.
Who are you talking to?
I agree with Theo on this one.
Okay,
now,
hold on. Anon's last point.
Baselines from which we can go forward. So now me and Anon are going to go forward. Anybody else wants to get in the way, they're just being an ass.
I agree. Carry on, Theo.
All right, so Anon, can you say what you believe a human is again, and then I'll reply.
Basically, it's a meat machine, right? It's a processing unit. It has inputs and it has outputs. The inputs are your sensory, and then your brain is the processing unit. It processes the information. It makes logical decisions. And I don't know how it became, self-aware at some point. Are dolphins self-aware? I don't know. And then you have outputs. And the output is, getting pissed and thoughts and voice. Just it's a processing unit. That's essentially what I think of it as.
Okay, so you threw something in there, which is you don't understand how it became self-aware. So throw that out there and ask that personally. Are you self-aware?
Yes, human beings are self-aware.
Okay.
Dolphins maybe are self-aware. Monkeys maybe.
The confirmation of self-awareness for yourself is what? How do you know you're self-aware?
When you start asking questions about who I am, where I come from, what am I doing? That's essentially, I think, what
So would you agree that your consciousness is having an experience? That's verifiable.
My consciousness is having an experience. I mean, sure, it's a legitimate sentence. Yeah.
Oh, you know for a fact you're a conscious entity.
I know for a fact that I'm a conscious. Yeah, I mean, all human beings, for the most part, are conscious entities, unless
Okay.
you're
Now,
in some sort of a ICU.
right. So now, what we have just done is disproven materialism. Philosophically, for a sentient entity to exist, a conscious thought is not a physical construct. It is something beyond physicality.
It's information, right? So like saying, you know, when
A
you use a
computer is information. A book is information.
computer.
Can a book read itself?
No.
Right. But you can think about your own thoughts, correct?
Correct.
So you are light years above on the echelon of things above a book. There's something about you that is very unique to any other information system, and that is the consciousness inside.
About all life. Yes.
Okay,
I
even
don't
life
claim
itself. Yes.
I don't claim for a minute that we are anywhere near artificial intelligence or how sentience and we're gonna do all this stuff in like 5 years. I don't think that. I think there's something special about life.
Okay. So do you believe, since you mentioned artificial intelligence, you believe in the limitations of entropy and thermodynamics, etc., correct?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
the laws.
Right. So what we know as humans in our experience is that there's nothing that spontaneously comes into existence more complicated than something previous. Everything comes from something above it. That's entropy. Informational entropy, logical entropy, energy entropy.
Yes.
Agree with that?
Or something could, like Flatner says, you know, this could always have been. That's something is hard to wrap my head around, but I give it a value. I give it enough attention. I give it enough, you know, credence. Make it a plausible option where it's like it's always been.
Okay, so let me change it. Would you ever believe that something simple could result in something more complex? Like a fragment of information could then produce other information spontaneously.
No.
Right. So you do actually believe in entropy from the top down, not from the bottom up, correct?
Sure. If you put it that way, yeah.
Okay, so conclusion of your sentient mind being a non-material entity, right? That means that logically, from entropy,
it's not quantifiable.
There are greater consciousnesses than your own, from which your consciousness came to be, because your consciousness did not come to be from your material body.
Yeah, but then that creates a problem in which you can either say everything existed, or you can say, okay, then who created the creator?
I don't even care about that at this point. What I'm getting at,
don't, but that's part of it.
I do. Sorry, I know you don't care. Sorry, got to interrupt there. Sorry, that's an infinite regress fallacy. So, just want to address that quickly, just so it isn't left out.
No, because I think what Theo is saying that I'm
not talking about whatsoever.
Hold on, let me explain.
Sorry, I've got to do this to you, Non. You've hijacked the end of his point. He was right at the conclusion too.
No, because I knew exactly where he was going, and I told you. So yeah, because just because that I agree with the fact that something more, you know, something bigger created me. That doesn't make me think that okay, there must have been something bigger that created the bigger guy who created me.
But that's a contradiction in terms. Anon, you've been led so beautifully that now you've just contradicted yourself in one sentence. Beautifully done, Theo.
Ow.
He said, he's taking you down it with the top-down entropy to get you to concede that there is something beyond your consciousness. You've conceded it, and then said, but I don't believe there's something beyond my consciousness. That's a contradiction.
No, I never said there's not something above my consciousness. I said there might be something above my consciousness, but there's always something above that. And then there's something above that.
No, you then stated the ontological primitives.
You can do that.
Hold
Or
on.
you can say it's always been here.
You then stated the ontological primitives and an infinite regress fallacy. That was your address to it.
Okay, so we've established that his position is not coherent. That's fine, but I want to get to a different point. Okay, and that is
and I don't share Anon's point of view. Mine is slightly different.
And so is mine.
You can't corner me into
we'll
it.
get to the both of you later.
Okay, fine. Earth Flattener and Slick. And probably John.
Go ahead, Flatner.
Oh, you betcha.
No. Just let Theo round out his point, and then Earth Flattener
getting
first.
kind of tedious.
That's fine. Let Theo go.
All right, so the point I was trying to get to had nothing to do with creation whatsoever. What I'm trying to get to is the understanding of our reality as it presents itself today. So I got him to concede that the consciousness point. Okay, so reality is more than the physical world. That is my point. Therefore, things that occur beyond the physical world, which science cannot attest to, can occur. That's my point.
Cool. Okay. Big shout out to Descartes, and on to you, Earth Flattener.
All right. So I don't think there is a creator. I don't think there is a consciousness. And I think everything has always just been here. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed. That's a thermodynamics violation. And so it just makes sense. Shut up, crayon muncher, idiot.
Oh, God.
Go pick up some cans.
That was your fault, John. I blame you for that.
Great argument. It's a great
argument. Don't forget about me. I'm next in line.
Fine, we've heard that point.
I got you, Slick.
We've had that point before.
Theo.
It's been addressed before, so fine. I'm happy to move on to Slick.
Let me deal with Slick because Earth Flat.
Okay, now my statement,
and stuff.
It's my turn.
Slick said.
Can we
hold on, I haven't made my statement.
Come on, John.
Hold on, Owen. I'm happy for Slick to restate his position. John, Slick, fine. If you can just talk over each other.
It's my turn to make the statement, and you can respond. Now, I can't verify a conscience that's greater than mine.
So you do verify that you have a conscience?
Of course.
All
okay.
Right. Flatner thinks he has no conscience.
Wait a second, Arwen. Is your name John?
Nope. But I want to say my 5 seconds to...
Go ahead, Arwen.
It's all good. He's got it in. Arwen's done, I think. You got his piece in.
Hey, John, real quick, John. Arwen said something about what that other guy asserted, but I think Arwen was mistaken. I didn't think he was saying he has no consciousness. I just think he was saying there's no greater consciousness. So the two other guys, Slick and the other guy, I think they both agree that they both have conscious, but there's no greater conscious verifiable.
But you led Anon so beautifully in that regard when you talked about entropy coming from top down.
No, I don't believe in entropy as defined. I think entropy is just on a local level. I believe entropy is just on a local level, but as far as
that's a special plating fallacy.
It's always been here. Shut up, John.
Clown.
That's
Let's get
bizarre.
back to Slick.
Slick, feel free to restate your statement. This is going off the rails far more than normal.
Yes, I will restate
People come
it
back
again.
to life all the time these days.
As soon as he's done. I can't verify a consciousness greater than mine.
I just want to say something quick and then I got to go. I know you'll all cry, but I have to go. This is a philosophical argument. It's not a scientific argument. So any claims anyone makes is purely their opinion and not a demonstrable fact.
Well, that's incorrect. I'm going to give a scientific argument here in a second.
All right. Well, the thing
Absolutely,
is
Bible literate,
that this is, this is all the realm of probability now. And someone can believe that something is improbable or impossible if they want. That doesn't make it true. And if they argue that something doesn't happen now, that it never happened, that's very fallacious as well. And it amounts to the whole naturalism, supernaturalism argument is that it's what I illustrate as like using a body temperature thermometer to measure an oven. Okay, you got two choices when you do that because the thermometer is going to be pegged. Okay, so the oven is 500 degrees and the thermometer only goes up to what, maybe 105 Fahrenheit. And so you're going to conclude one of two things. Either A, you need a different scale, or B, that the oven doesn't get hotter than 105. And that's essentially that second option is what naturalism does. It is self-limiting. It says that because I can't scientifically prove something, therefore it cannot be true. And so that means you can neither prove nor falsify supernaturalism, neither one, which means you can't say there is no God, there is no higher intelligence, there is no this, there are no miracles, because those are things that naturalism can never prove or disprove. And that's all I have to say. I got to go. Thanks, Nathan, for having me on.
Thank you.
Yep. Every conversation today has been philosophical or faith-based, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly from you.
Okay, John's been waiting patiently to address Slick for a while, so go ahead, John.
Yeah, Slick. Yeah, I'm not concerned with his first comment here. He's on board with Anon and IQ Flattener with, well, why couldn't everything just always exist? Because he said it the other day, and that's Anon and Earth Flattener's friggin' mantra, right? Well, that's a laws of thermodynamics violation. Do you need me to explain to you why?
I think that's addressed to Earth Flattener.
No, let's address the Slick.
Oh, my bad.
Earth Flattener.
You don't have to ask. You don't have to ask me any questions. Just make your point.
Well, you said that why couldn't everything like the universe always exist? Well, because it's a laws of thermodynamics violation. So let's go through it real quick. The first law states that nature or natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy. Do you agree with that?
Go on, make your point.
Second law of thermodynamics, the amount of available energy is running out. That means entropy from a high state or low entropy to a higher entropy, right? Does that follow?
Listen, just make your point.
If the total amount of matter or energy is constant and the amount of usable energy is decreasing, then the universe will end.
You said if.
Ipso facto, it had a beginning.
You said if.
If. I said
doesn't
if.
make it so.
If the total amount, because the if statement is conditioned on the first law of thermodynamics that I just stated.
Yeah,
nature and natural law
to the
cannot create or destroy matter or energy. So if that's the case, and then the second law is the case also, that's what the if means. Clown show.
Yeah, matter can't be created nor destroyed. It's very simple. And
right.
That's what I said. That's the if statement. That's the precondition.
This was addressed to Slick, and everybody stopped.
I was going to say this was addressed to
Slick.
So
I can respond to that if you don't mind.
Sure.
Now, my reason for understanding and resonating with the always existed theory is because energy cannot be created or destroyed. Now, I'm not stating that as a fact, but if that is a fact, that means that everything had to have always existed. It couldn't have come into existence out of nowhere.
No.
Now,
that's right.
You want to finish for me?
No,
do you want to finish for me?
Hold on, John.
Do you want to finish for me?
Oh, God. Slick, I'll do it for you. John, just let him get to the end of his statement. He's nearly done.
Good.
Now, that's one of the things. And the other item is that it also solves the chicken and egg problem, because with something having a beginning, this question always comes up, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? The always existed theory solves both of those problems. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a laws of thermodynamics violation, like I just told you. Number one. The laws of thermodynamics
creation
are natural. Hey, Nathan, can you shut that clown up? Thank you. The laws of thermodynamics are natural laws. What comes first, Slick? The law or the lawgiver?
Listen, I don't know if you have a point to make, John. Just make your point. Don't ask me any questions.
What comes first, Slick? Law or the lawgiver?
Why don't you just make your point? Don't ask me.
The
Make your point.
lawgiver comes first, then the law. You're in the wrong category. And you're standing in direct contradiction of the laws of thermodynamics.
Hold on.
I'm gonna kick you. Shut up.
So basically, John is saying is magic.
Jesus Christ. How loud are you, Anon?
I'd like a response to my argument from Slick.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get to hear it. Say it again, please.
I was going to say, if you can repeat it, John, Earth Flattener, after Slick's done, feel free to pipe up.
What comes first, the law or the lawgiver?
Listen, you're asking me a question that I don't even resonate with. So just tell me. Don't ask me, because the question makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sam
it's a
first
little
grade
soft.
can reconcile.
Okay, after Slick.
No,
it's a
he's
little
not done yet. Clown show.
Okay. So laws
He's not done
apply
yet.
to whoever the laws are given to. You can't give laws to the sun because you have no idea what it is. Go back to
thank
sleep,
you.
John. Go have some breakfast. You're an idiot.
So the total amount of mass or energy in the universe is constant. That means nature or natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy. Notice
That's
I
right.
stated
It's always
nature
been here.
or natural
That's right.
law.
It's always been here.
Shut
Yes.
up. I'm not done yet. Notice I stated that the laws of
confirming what you said.
Oh,
thermodynamics
God,
are
why are you
natural.
rumpusing him?
Yeah.
Why are you...
He won't
Earth
do it.
Flattener, why are you rumpusing him? You're making the conversation
Flattener, I'm gonna
incoherent.
kick you.
Now you're rumpusing
Nathan, you
me.
should be the one stopping
That's
him.
all he
not
can
I'm
me.
trying to
That's all
stop
you can
you. I've said to you, after they're done, when Slick and John are done, I didn't say and John, admittedly that might have been confusing, but I'm just saying once this discourse is over...
No, I'm not confused. You guys are the one that are confused. You should be stopping him from talking about this magic BS, Nathan, not me.
He's not. He's saying, in terms of the idea that it can all be here from the beginning, is a violation of that law.
Yeah, and creating it, matter can't be created nor destroyed, so a creator would be a violation of that. I don't
That's
know
a
why
natural law. You're
why
a
just
clown.
asleep
You're
about that.
categorically in the wrong. You're in the wrong category. You're a moron. We already went over this 30 times. You still
And
don't get
I'd like
it.
to make a comment whenever I
Natural
get a chance
law.
about that.
A law
Right?
that's applied to whatever can be applied to. You can't apply laws to the sun.
Oh, here we
Nathan
go with
can
the
be
sun
scared
again.
of you, but I'm not scared of you, John. You're an idiot.
Can I have an attempt? You've got two choices. These are the ontological primitives. You're saying there's a third choice. But in the third choice, it's actually choice one. Everything from nothing, which violates the second law.
It's not nothing. Everything has
Right.
just always been here. I don't know why you're asleep in this.
He
I don't know
keeps
why
just saying it.
constantly repeat it,
Yeah.
Nathan.
It's too
Okay,
much
no worries.
fun.
No problem.
Sorry if it's
No
a bit
problem. Earth
confusing,
Flattener,
but
I heard you the
everything has
first
always been
time. I heard you the
Sorry,
first 30
thank
times,
you.
but you won't shut up. Whenever you finish your statement, you carry on and on, saying the same thing 5 more times.
Yeah,
You
he's got
don't
Baltard
understand it.
Tourette's. That's what Baltards do.
referring
Yeah,
to the Big Bang
I'm
to me.
trying
You
to
keep referring
actually
to
address
everything
it.
Hey,
This
hey,
has been
Flatner,
covered.
relax.
Just relax.
You sound
Exactly.
really distorted on your phone, and it's hard to hear. Anyway,
And you're annoying.
No, we no need.
no, I agree with him.
Not
It's just
annoying.
your
Please,
sound is very
for the
distorted.
love
It's
of
very
God.
difficult to hear.
Now Anon's super
Alright, I'll get
loud.
another headset.
Jesus. Right.
I know.
This was covered before. I've forgotten what was covered before because of all the rumpusing. Sorry. So everything from nothing is a violation. So if you stick with the first one, you're saying that no, it was always here. But the beginning has to have been. This was explained. I just can't remember the explanation now. John, can you repeat it? Because I've forgotten.
Yeah, it's a play on the first and second laws of thermodynamics. It's real easy. Nature and natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy, and energy is getting more disordered or running out. So it has to have a beginning, and it goes back to the
That's
two
in a closed
ontological
system.
primitives.
No, but
Right,
it's
and that's-
Oh
nature.
my God.
Nature can do it, not something outside of nature, which is the
Yeah, that's just
creator.
on a local level that the laws apply. It doesn't have to apply to the
That's
sun.
a special pleading
So
fallacy.
entropy
The
doesn't have
laws
to
on the
apply to the
local
sun.
level.
You don't even know what the sun is, Flatner.
Right.
Yeah.
So it
So
That's a
how
special
can you
pleading
say
apply
fallacy.
to it?
Let's get back
that
on
is not
track.
How would
included
you
if you
know
don't
if they
even know
apply
what
Hold
it
or
on.
is?
not?
I just want to hear Arwin.
So you can't exclude the sun because you don't know what it is.
Yes, we should all just say we don't know. But you guys are acting
Wrong.
like
That's an
the
argument
laws of
from ignorance fallacy.
thermodynamics are scientifically sound, but they're not.
Oh, they're
Because they
not.
don't
Then
apply
show a
to the
second
sun.
law
Anything
of
in the
thermodynamics
natural
violation.
world,
You're
what
just
we can confirm
presupposing that
is
the
physical
laws-
and
Hold on.
natural.
Hold
does
on.
fall
Hold
in
on.
the law of
Are you?
thermodynamics.
Hold on, Arwin. Sorry. Earth Flattener. Are you saying the laws don't hold true?
I'm just saying that you're presupposing that they apply to the sun. I'm not saying that they don't apply on a local level. entropy may just reach as far as local, what we know, but it may stop there and it could come back.
That's the point.
We don't know that.
That's
You
the
don't
point.
know what the sun
Sorry,
is.
hold on. John, can you just say the same thing you said again for a third time, but put the emphasis on the word nature?
Yeah, nature or natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy. Nature or natural law goes from high concentration to low concentration, high gas pressure to low gas pressure. That's entropy, right? And his appeal is a special pleading fallacy.
But before you attack his appeal, which I agree with, do you understand the point? So when you refer to what we experience, that's why they're natural laws.
Yes,
I disagree
but
with
they
John
only
just said.
Hold on, Slick. Sorry, go on, Flatner.
Yes, but the entropy law may only apply on a local level.
Yeah, that's the
Because-
point.
Okay, so you
Special
just
pleading.
proven a miracle.
But that's the point. We're talking about what we experience on a natural level, and
We have
that
proof
is
of a miracle.
but that would be.
Miracle on the
No,
table.
you're saying that entropy is going to make the world end. Everything is going to end, right?
But that's just what we
Universe
experience.
will
It's a
end.
natural law. That's the point.
That's not a. It shouldn't be a natural law because we don't know if that's what's going to happen to the sun.
You don't know if the sun falls into the category of natural. You don't even know what it is.
His argument is a special pleading fallacy to cite something as an accepted to generally accepted law. That's the textbook definition of special pleading. Next. Go ahead, Slick.
You're pleading a creator. What's the difference?
Go ahead, Slick.
Creator falls outside of natural law.
Yes, outside
Exactly,
because you
Arwen,
don't
you
need
got
it.
it.
You don't need it on Earth. Exactly.
But your appeal to it always being here already is a nature-based appeal, Flat and Earth.
Yes,
Hey.
because matter cannot be created nor destroyed.
So your argument falls on its face based on that statement. I don't
doesn't
see why you're
realize
not
it.
getting this. That's where your position falls flat on its face.
Why?
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Nathan,
Yeah.
you missed something.
Go on, Theo.
He put the sun outside of entropy, which means it's the source of the increased energy required to continuate the system, which would necessitate the sun being an infinite energy source, which is a violation of the laws of thermodynamics, which is by itself a miracle. So he just proved
It's a
You
miracle.
don't know where the energy of the sun is derived
No,
from.
no.
It could
Oh,
literally
don't
hold on,
exactly
hold on.
on the Earth.
No,
Get off the
hold on.
sun.
Can I
Point is, he's
sorry,
telling
it's
it's
gone
infinite.
chaos again. 5 people talk after one statement. Right, so I don't think that's necessarily destroying his own argument, because he's saying that, or Arwen's backing him up in this, he's saying, well, if you don't know what the sun is, it may violate the law. We don't know. Is that correct,
No.
Flat on Earth?
No, I'm
If
not saying
entropy
that.
Not
doesn't
you, Arwen.
apply,
Not you, Arwen.
No.
Flat on Earth.
No, but you're saying something that I wasn't stating.
Not you. Flat on Earth.
Yeah, I don't know if he's agreeing with me, but yeah. Seems like he is, but he says he's not.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not agreeing. I'm saying you don't know what it is. So to claim that it is an ever increasing amount of energy introduction is a claim based on no facts at all. You don't even know what it is. So what I'm proposing is no. I think the energy for the sun that is introduced in the world is probably in some way subtracted as well.
Arwen, you're
Where
missing
are
the
we
point.
at? Come on, people.
Well, I know personally, I don't think John is an authority on the law of thermodynamics.
It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
why is that?
Position of the sun being outside and being the source of the energy is
Hold on a second.
self-contradictory.
Slick made a claim. Why is that, Slick?
Because I just don't think you are. You think that just because you state what the law of thermodynamics is, that all of a
Yeah.
sudden that you speak with some type of authority. I don't think
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah, well, you don't think I do because why? You didn't give a reason or rationale why. Do you know what the laws of thermodynamics are? Give me the second
Well-
law of thermodynamics, son.
Well, listen, I know that you're not an authority. Just because you
How do
say
you
something
know?
and you pound, listen, are
How
you
do
going
you
to let
know,
me
or
answer?
do you
Answer
believe?
for me. I'll tell you
How
what,
do
you can answer
know,
for
or
me.
do
Go
you
ahead.
believe?
You can answer for me.
How do you know, or do you believe I'm not authority?
Like I said, you proclaim yourself that for some reason that you're an authority on the second
Some
law of
reason.
thermodynamics.
Yes.
I'm pretty
That's right.
sure that there's a, let me finish, please, if you're not afraid. I'm pretty sure
I'm not
there's
afraid of you, Slick. I'm going to jack you yard here in a second.
Yeah, I bet you are.
You
So
bet
anyway,
I am, son.
Okay. So anyway, I'm sure you believe that you know all there is to know about the second law of thermodynamics, but I'm willing to bet that you don't.
Okay, how much you betting?
Hold on, let's not have this childish nonsense. What's the yardstick we're going to apply here, Slick?
Well, the point I'm making is that he's speaking like he's an authority on the second law of thermodynamics, and he isn't.
Based on what? Nuh-uh.
No, based on it, I'm not going to sit up here and let you make that claim. And just because you speak with an authoritative tone, like that's supposed to mean something, it doesn't mean anything. You're
I've
just
explained
talking.
and already
Yeah, let me
established
finish,
that
please,
I know
unless
the
you're
second law of
afraid.
thermodynamics.
Unless you're afraid. Now, you're just a regular Joe.
I'm not
just
afraid of
talking.
you, Slick.
Oh,
you
here we go.
clown.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. You clown. Back up your statement that I don't know what the second law of thermodynamics is.
What I said was that you are not an authority on a second law of thermodynamics.
How
just
do you
because
know?
Oh, here we go. This guy just can't contain himself. Are you triggered, John? Why are you so
all right,
triggered?
let me intervene. Both of you.
No, I get triggered.
Hold on, let me intervene.
Slick
John,
James, you're
Slick,
basically
Arwin,
telling
let me
him like he
intervene.
doesn't
Hold on.
know what he's talking about.
Arwin, right. So, Slick, you've just repeated yourself. So saying, how do you know that he's not an authority? So rather than just saying, I don't think you're an authority, you can't make those statements. How do you actually justify that?
I justify it because there's a lot of resources on the second law of thermodynamics. His mouth is not the only authority. There's up there. I'm sure the second law is written in places with volumes and volumes of information. Him cherry picking and stating his case is not his. That doesn't mean anything. That's just him cherry picking. There's more to the second law. Could you shut up, please?
What did I cherry pick?
Ridiculous statement. He's not cherry picking at all. He's
Would
just
you shut up too, Arwen? You too. Just be quiet. I know you're triggered. I know this hurts.
Okay, right, both of you. Hold on. Let's try again. Let's try again. Let's try again. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
I know it hurts.
Hold on, guys. Can I get
I know
control,
it hurts.
please? Right. So, Slick, I'll let you make the end of your statement, but when you do, after you end your statement, can you just tell us what he's cherry picking? So go ahead, Slick, and only Slick, but afterwards, please address what's been cherry picked. Thanks.
Thank you. Right. What I'm saying is that John is just making statements. The second law of thermodynamics is a lot more than what he is just talking. Just because he makes a statement, that's not the end all of the second law of thermodynamics. That's the only point that I'm making. He is not the sole authority on the second law. He's just talking.
Okay, that's kind of just repeating the exact same thing again, Slick. But hello, is it Merle? How you doing? Can you hear us?
Hey up, Nathan. Yeah, just tuning in.
Good to have you. So, John, can you respond to that? Hopefully, without
respond to what? He didn't support any of his claims. He just said, "Nuh-uh." Now, what's the cherry pick? I want to know what the cherry pick is. He charged me with that. What is that? Do you even know what cherry picking is?
Now, maybe you missed my point. Maybe I'll try to say it a little bit.
You charged me.
I'll try to say it just a little bit more concise.
In the second law of thermodynamics. Now, support your charge and don't repeat the same shit you just said.
Oh, well, you didn't hear me, so apparently
I heard you.
He did hear you.
Okay, so respond then.
So, Slick, okay, hold on, John. Hold on. So, what's being asked of you is you've said cherry picking, which I know gets John's goat. So, you're going to get him frustrated if you don't actually say, well, give a specific example, maybe, of a cherry picked thing from the second law.
Yes, I've answered the question. What I'm saying is this. John think that he is the gateway to the second law.
Shit again.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'll tell you what. I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
Yeah, you are done. You're a clown. You don't even know what the second law is. Just like that knucklehead IQ flattener.
Don't go anywhere.
What is the second law of thermodynamics, Slick? That's what I thought. No further questions.
Hope you're all enjoying the show in the audience.
Like I said, if I can't make a statement without getting talked over,
no further questions.
See, that's what happens when people get triggered. See, they can't stand
it.
It's very, it gets very painful. So what that happens is as soon as you start talking, they start talking over you. See, notice it's so. Nathan, if you'll notice, as soon as I started talking, they started talking over me. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I'll try and calm it down once more,
over
Slick. Slick, but that's your own fault. So you've claimed he's cherry-picked, and then you've not given a single example, so you're going to get rumpused. That's just how it goes, isn't it?
Okay, so let's do this. Let's forget about the word cherry pick. Can we do that? Let's get that out of the vocabulary.
Okay, hold on.
Here we go again.
See what I mean? Yeah, I get it, and
See,
I'm trying to keep control for you.
See what I
Slick.
mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep control for you. But that was your only example of him not being an authority on the second law. So do you have another example?
It's okay when the fundies rumpus, but when I do it, it's a problem, right, Nathan?
Right.
Well, you've got not anymore, but you had the worst mic, and you do it after one word. In this instance, Slick hasn't given an example.
But Anon said that he got my point regardless of my shitty mic.
Yeah, we did get your point, and everyone shut up so we could hear it.
But you told me not to rumpus, but you're not telling these idiots not to rumpus because it's on the fundy side.
You're rumpusing.
Not at all. I would like to believe I'm being very even-handed in my approach here. So, you know,
No, you're not.
I'm sorry you feel hard done by. I haven't tried to.
Good cop,
I really wish you were. I really wish you were, Nathan. I just don't see how you don't see through the bullshit that John spews, especially with his quantum array. Oh, here we go.
John, it's obvious.
What?
It's really strange, actually.
Oh, poor baby.
You guys are all you guys are acting like a bunch of young teenagers whining at their teachers.
Okay,
I'm just saying that Nathan should keep the same standard of bullshit when it comes to.
Oh God! Rather than this turning, hold on.
I think he's
Stop!
kind of an
Stop!
But I'm not saying he's wrong.
Right, this has gone. This has gone from. There's a tabled question not answered. What is the second law?
Now, I was trying to make a point, but as soon as I started talking, I started getting rumpus, so I never got to finish.
Yeah, the reason that happens,
if I could just finish, just let me finish, please, and then join
Finish
in.
what? You just said it 4 times.
I was going to say you've made the same.
Let me
point.
say it a 5th time.
Well, no.
Let me say it one more time.
Why would we let you say it a 5th time, Slick?
Listen, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you your permission, Erwin. I'm not talking to you. Now, apparently, you're scared because this hurts. This hurts. Yeah, I know. It hurts. It hurts. I know. It hurts.
Hold on. We've got an even more annoying guest.
I get it.
Need to say hello to our new guest.
Hang on.
Hold on.
Look, I'm not an expert on this, but the second law of thermodynamics is entropy. Yes?
Yeah, what's entropy?
Entropy is the state, it says here, I'm not an expert, where in all energy exchanges, if no energy enters or leaves the system, the potential energy of the state will always be less than that of the initial state.
Right, the energy in the system is always running out. Well put. Where did you cite that from, just so we know?
Just thermodynamics, second law of it on Google.
Perfect. Shout out to Logan Cook for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed.
Shout out to Gravity.
Okay, so now we've got a definition of what the second law is. It's a very simple explanation. Nevertheless, why would John not understand that, Slick?
Well, it's not that I'm saying he doesn't understand it. The point that I made, and I was very clear, is that he is not the authority. There's more information about the second law than what he's just stating. What he is doing is that he's containing the second law of thermodynamics to his statements only, and anything outside of that is not allowed.
What?
I agree.
That doesn't make any
sense. It makes sense to me. I agree.
That's
yeah, it would make sense to you. You don't have a clue on what it is either.
Yeah, go pick up some cans on the side of the road. Quiet down.
Look, there may be other ways to use the laws of thermodynamics in philosophy and all kinds of things, but that doesn't make how John applies it cherry picking or wrong.
Can I make a comment?
Any damn sense.
Nobody
Can I make a comment?
I don't care, Slick James. I'm talking. You don't have to respond to me.
Wasn't the challenge like what makes him an expert, and is he really an expert, and la la la?
Yes.
That was gonna be my address.
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Hold
that
on.
wasn't the thing at all. But go ahead.
Well, go ahead, Paul.
Well, I mean, I remember there's a scene from I don't know if this is gonna sound weird, but that Nathan's using before. I think I'll use one. Remember my cousin Benny, where Melissa Tomei was on the stand, and she was supposed to be an expert in automotive mechanics, but she was a hairdresser. Remember that story?
Oh God.
Oh, well, wait a minute. But my point, there's a point I'm going to make. So, John, don't. It's actually to your side, to your understanding. What made her an expert is because she fully understood auto mechanics. She may not have been, her profession at that moment was not hairdresser or was not a mechanic, but she had enough information, enough knowledge so that she was an expert in auto mechanics. You got to just show that John doesn't have the full understanding to show that he's not an expert or that he's not authority. He may be an authority, but you've got to show that he doesn't have that authority. So you need to cross-examine him. Just you making that statement is irrelevant, whether he's an authority or not. You've got to show that he's not.
He's not a mechanic. He's a used car salesman.
Don't do that, Flat Earther. That's not my point. My point is you got to show that John is not a valid expert. You've got to show that, and nobody's done that. You just ad hominem, you throw attacks at him, you tell him that he's not, all this stuff, but you have not shown that he's not.
Okay, well,
He said they're just obfuscating.
to lead to a
They're
creator.
obfuscating around the point.
Right?
That's all. That's all it is a red herring diversion.
Yeah.
It's
So-
done by
Thermodynamics
second
to
grade
get to a
playground.
creator.
I was going to say, well
He
done,
uses
Flat Earth.
thermodynamics to get to a creator, and that's the problem that I have with it. So he uses photons.
I don't
which
need
obviously we can't.
thermodynamics. I could
Hold
just
on,
use
John.
quantum mechanics
Hold
and
on,
end it.
John. Hold on. He was doing a great job of getting us back on track. Go on, Flat Earth.
Yeah, he uses photons and things like that, which we can't validate just through pictures that look like the symbol of Malta and things like that. So it's just
Listen
a
to
belief
him.
to me.
Listen to him.
You
He's
need
going
to
off the rails.
Hold on, John. He was back on rails for a second. So he basically said you're using the second law of thermodynamics to prove a creator, which isn't the case. So first, can you correct him, and then we can go from there.
Well, it's the laws of thermodynamics, just not the second. Like I explained 3 times before, it's the logical consequence of the laws. 1 second, I'll be right back.
No worries.
Yeah, and the laws only apply to what we know. And you say a creator is outside of those laws, and that's only because you don't need a creator. That's the only reason why.
But then you're into option 1, aren't you? Everything from nothing.
No, option 3.
Yeah.
But isn't energy always existed? Always.
Wait a
existed?
second,
It
don't
cannot
bring
be
in another
destroyed
thing. What's the third
or
option,
created.
Slick?
No, Flat and Earth.
Yeah, so
What's
it
the
seems
third
like
option?
Earth just keeps cycling through biogeochemical processes, and it seems obvious to me. But you know, you
What's
guys
the third
stand by
option?
the
What
laws,
was that?
and
What
that's
was
what
that
is
word?
limiting you guys.
What
was that
is the
word?
third option?
But what was the word?
Biogeochemical.
Oh, don't worry about his nonsense he picked up
Yeah,
from Google.
don't worry about
Let's
that.
worry
'cause
about
it's
what's the
scary.
third option.
The third option is that everything always existed. That's the third option.
That's not it. That's a nature option, right?
Listen,
and we
you
already
have- you
pummeled
have-
that with the laws of thermodynamics. Let me end
No,
this quick.
You haven't
Let me end this
pummeled
quick,
anything.
because you
just
don't know what the
declared.
laws of thermodynamics are.
That's
Shut up,
natural
Slick.
law.
John.
Right.
All
Well,
you
that's
did was
natural law now.
Sorry,
You
we've
just
covered this.
declared a
Slick,
pummeling.
Slick.
I just covered it.
We've covered it 3 times. What you're saying is option 3 is actually option 1, and therefore,
No, it's not.
Therefore,
No, it isn't.
Nuh-uh.
You're rumpusing
Yeah,
me.
that's not
You
argument.
keep,
Yeah,
I know,
you
but
just
you
keep saying no, it
you keep
isn't,
making a
Slick. It's
mistake. You know how you
irritating.
stop
I haven't
people before
actually
they make a
made any
mistake?
points in this
Option
discussion
3
yet, and you're
is not
rumpusing the hell
option
out of
1.
me. Right. So we've said it 3 times. Option 3, which is it was always here. Therefore, the natural laws become applicable. So then you go straight to that second law and say, oh, it violates it. Therefore, not possible. So your option 3 is actually
doesn't
option
violate
1.
it, though.
It doesn't violate.
And I keep
doesn't
telling you,
violate
it
it.
isn't. That is not
Yeah,
option 1. That's
nuh-uh.
what I keep telling you. You keep saying
Yeah,
it is, and
nuh-uh.
I'm telling
Great
you,
argument.
it isn't.
Great, thanks.
Enlighten us
You
to the
Harvard law.
slick laws of thermodynamics then, please.
Yeah.
I can't enlighten you to anything because as soon as I start talking, you start.
Well, let me
rumpusing.
ask you a specific question. Yeah.
Yes.
How is it that everything always being here is not everything from nothing?
Because that's 2 different things. Everything from nothing is everything from nothing. Everything always being here is everything always being here. Those are totally different things.
But that would defy a natural law.
But
You
it
can't
does.
No,
have
it doesn't.
nothing
No,
and
it does
make
not.
everything.
Nathan. Nuh-uh.
No, it doesn't.
That's
Listen, I'm going to explain why if the crayon muncher can let me. Because energy cannot be created or destroyed.
Crayon
That means
muncher.
energy was always. It was never created. It never had a beginning. It was always.
Is that your explanation?
So this has
Unless
been
you
answered
pretend the
to.
creator
This
made
has been
it.
addressed.
It
Hold
brings-
on.
it brings
I
us
want a
Flat
direct
Earth
address to that
argument.
from John. Slicks made his point. Hopefully we can have it concisely addressed.
It goes against the second law of thermodynamics of entropy.
No, before
It can't have
anyone
always
pipes
been
up,
there.
John, why does it defy the second laws?
Because everything goes from a. Oh my.
Everything that has an ending that's
Wow.
on its way to the end, i.e., entropy, has a beginning. John's
Yes, and the
sniggering his way
creator-
through it because it's been
the
said
creator
about
violates
4
the first.
times, and now I'm saying it and getting rumpused.
Creator violates the first law. Well, that's because you're a fundy, just like
The
John.
creator
You're on
can't
his side.
violate the first
So
law
yes,
of
I'm gonna
thermodynamics.
rumpus you.
Which comes
You're
first?
agreeing
The
with him.
law
You're not
Hold
being
on,
the mediator.
John, let him address it. Go
Address
You're
on.
not being balanced here. You're not in the middle here. You think you're like trying to keep everything stable.
saying
Alex,
the same thing
Jesus
every
Christ,
time.
I'm letting you have your say, and you're just
The
attacking my
creator
moderation
violates-
skills. Rather
the
than actually
creator
making a
violates
point,
the first
you're
law.
attacking my moderating skills. I've opened the mic for you, shut up, and you take the opportunity to attack me.
But
Do you want to
the only
make a
chance
point
I
on this
have-
topic or not?
Okay,
It's the
guys,
only
relax.
chance I had.
Oh,
The
really?
creator violates the first law.
No.
So you can
The
pick
first
one.
law is a natural
No, but-
law. How can the creator violate it?
You can't create matter nor destroy it,
Oh my God, it's a natural
creator-
law.
which a creator violates.
Hold on,
think
you've got to get
what
stop.
Flat Earth is
Arwen,
trying to
stop.
say, nothing
God, this
can
is so
exist
difficult.
outside of nature.
Jesus,
Is that
Arwen,
correct,
please.
Flat Earth?
Yes.
Arwen, when I say your name
Yeah.
4 times, it doesn't
No,
mean
I like
carry
that.
on talking
I like
all
that.
over me. And whoever's talking now, same applies. Right.
Trying
So
to
we
clarify this
all
point. Sorry.
we're almost
Unbelievable.
at a back and forth that's on track. Yes, we've covered it already. So when you have your example, you are in the realms of natural law. When we go to the creator, the very specific point of it is that it's outside of natural law. So to use a natural law to say it can't happen is nonsense.
Can
To
I
have it
Exactly.
all together is nonsense. You got to imagine it because
Please, can I
it
respond?
doesn't exist.
I can't quite hear Earth
Doesn't
Flattener.
exist.
Just repeat yourself again, Earth Flattener. I don't think I can turn you up anymore. But don't get closer because you distort.
Yeah, you don't need a creator, so that's why it doesn't make sense to apply it with thermodynamics. You don't need it. All you need is what we know, which is Earth.
Right. No, hold on. I want to respond to that. So what Flatten Earth is technically saying is he does not believe things can exist outside of nature.
Yes.
Then you
To
can't
clarify.
explain nature because it goes against the laws of thermodynamics. You're a clown.
Sorry.
But sorry.
Not
but-
against the
No. I want
I'm not
Typical.
hearing you.
typical. Sorry, technical issues. Can you repeat that again, John? That's the main point.
I didn't hear you. Say that one more time, Nathan.
That's the main point. God, totally lost in silence. Can you repeat it?
Well, it like I said, it just comes down to the first and second law of thermodynamics. They are natural laws. They hold no sway over the creator because the creator is number 2 of the second of the 2 ontological primitives. So he's in a category error. He keeps
No,
on
it's
switching
because you
back
don't
and forth
need it.
between the
I have
two.
an
You don't
That's
need a
exactly
Let's
what
happen
creator.
Earth
again.
Flattener's saying.
I'm
Hang
going to have
You
to
don't
start.
need a creator.
That's exactly Earth Flattener's point.
I
Is
have
that
a
it
really
doesn't apply.
important question to John, if I may.
Go ahead.
Right. So, John, is
Yes.
there anywhere in the science literature that you also use as a source? Is there anywhere stated that things cannot exist outside of nature?
He's already answered that. We're talking about the ontological primitives.
No, but I'm not asking. No, is it specifically stated that nothing can exist outside of nature?
Well, that's the materialist, philosophical, naturalist position.
Right, one of the ontological primitives.
But it's not a law, is it? It's a philosophical, debatable subject.
Yeah, that's a philosophy,
Correct.
naturalism.
Well, there you
philosophical
go.
naturalism.
Things can potentially exist outside of nature, so you can't exclude it per definition.
Thanks, Arwen.
Yeah,
So
but when you
philosophical
hold
debate.
on, this is the point. When you go outside of nature, you're no longer bound by nature's laws.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist. Of course,
Right.
it doesn't apply.
Right.
But
there's
you
no
can't
Hold
philosophical
on,
prove that
hold
naturalism.
on, hold on.
nothing
I've got all the points. I just want to summarize them. I really want to round out the live show at some point. Right. So if you've got two choices, one of them is, and I'm going to use your point 3 in it as well, just so you don't jump down my throat. Everything was always here, which is basically everything from nothing, everything nature from nature. Well, if that is the case, then you've got nature's laws to abide by. The only other option, other than option 1 and apparently an option 3, is to have something outside of nature. Well, if you use the nature argument, you're violating the laws of nature to have an explanation, which only leaves you with one option. Now, you might call me biased for saying that, but that is the conclusion of this discussion. That's where we get to. Your definition violating a law, and the only other explanation being outside of nature, and therefore cannot have your, well, it violates nature as an argument.
Yeah, you require nature to start from nothing, and that's what you're doing. You're backing yourself into that Big Bang corner. I'm saying everything has always been here. If you don't want to hear it, if you want to be deaf to that, that's your problem.
Well, yeah,
You're
we're
just
deaf to
defending
that because
John.
it's the first and second law of thermodynamics violation.
You're
We
just
went over
defending
5
John.
fucking
It's
times.
not. It doesn't violate the first law because
Yeah,
matter can't be
nuh-uh.
created
Good
nor
argument.
destroyed. But I don't
Harvard law?
understand thermodynamics,
Stanford?
right? Go ahead and
Stanford or
defend them,
Harvard
Nathan.
law?
Go ahead and say
Because
everything from nothing again.
I mean,
doesn't have
the best part about this,
Yes, it's just
my
retards.
But
Yeah,
aren't
you're
you
retard. You're
entitled?
right.
Aren't you entitled to see it your way? Like, yeah, sure.
No,
if you
you're
make
not.
a
I'll be
claim,
back in a few minutes.
well,
Nathan.
you are. 'cause-
No, you're not.
Well, listen. If you make a
Guys.
claim, you need to be able to back it up. But when you're just postulating and playing with ideas, you are allowed to see it your way. Even if people don't agree with you, hold your position. Fuck them.
Okay. My issue with this is that
No swearing,
John
please.
says that he uses quantum mechanics not to prove that there is a creator or observer, but then to just conclude that it's Jesus. Now that is the
Wow,
That's awesome.
that is a
That's
total
hilarious.
straw man, dude.
No, he said it in his
Yeah.
video. It's hilarious. He says it in his video that it's Jesus.
Yeah, I watched this video, so
Yes.
that's the part
It's
that I
probably
go,
a joke.
"Whoa, slow
No, it's not a
down. How do
joke.
we
You
go
gotta
from
watch it,
creator
Arwen.
to Jesus?
Argument
that's
for
very
Christ,
ignorance,
guy.
Arwen.
John, is that true?
Yes, it is true.
He's not
Argument
here
for
at the
I'm
moment.
ignorance,
He's
asking
stepped
Arwen.
John.
away
Go
from the
watch
mic.
it. Go watch it. Total fundy fest on those videos.
Yeah, it kind of made me sad, honestly. I used to like John before then.
Me too.
Okay.
Before he called me a crayon muncher and Elmer Fudd just because I asked a couple of questions about, are we sure about this whole wave duality thing? Hey, are you sure that there's photons? Maybe there aren't photons. Next thing you know, I'm an idiot crayon muncher, and it's the same recycled insults, which is at least change it up, man. And then the fact, like I said, you going from a creator to Jesus Christ, it's just like, what? You could go from creator to anybody. You can go from creator to Allah. You can go from creator to Vishnu. You can go creator to Buddha, whatever.
Can I
That's the
say
part
something?
that bothers me.
Can I say something? I said this originally.
I'm done.
And we're back. I said this originally. The creator argument is different than the Jesus argument. It's a different argument.
I agree.
And John, okay, so
Not to quantum
just jumping on John. Well, I understand what John was doing, but
his name should be Quantum Jesus.
It's a different argument. No, don't do that. I mean,
Yeah, we
we're
all
not
have
getting
different
any-
arguments, and that should be okay. But it's not here, and so that's why I'm defending my position. If we all just said, "I have no idea," I would be great. But you guys are not doing that. You're trying to prove a creator using science, and you can't do that. It's faith-based, and that's okay.
No. See, I sent you a video this morning that you just kind of disobfuscated really quickly.
Yeah, and I replied to it.
Well, I know.
Watch it. Don't reply like you have some backup.
Wait a minute. Hang on.
Don't reply like you have some backup, Paul.
But
Because I replied.
Wait a minute.
Hang on. Why do you think people are having trouble proving a creator?
Because you can't do that. He's outside of the laws of thermodynamics. We can't possibly know that. You can presuppose it.
Antecedent to creation
You
is a
can
creator.
presuppose
If you
it.
can
You
prove
can
creation,
have an
then you can
antecedent.
prove a creator by default.
Yeah, you can't prove it. You can presuppose it. You can say it's an antecedent, but you're never going to prove it.
Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I already did. Quantum
Isn't
mechanics.
the
You're all
antecedent
No,
whistling
you
past
didn't.
the
creation a
graveyard
You
anyway.
can think you
Arwen, hold
do
on a
because
second.
you just repeat
You're all
everything
whistling past the
constantly.
graveyard anyway. Like I said, to have matter, you must have knowledge of the witch path information. So this is all moot anyway.
Now you're just getting into photons and the stupid double slit
Quantum mechanics
nonsense.
is a lot more than photons.
You can have
son.
faith that that's real. It's
You don't
not.
even know what the laws of thermodynamics are. You shouldn't be commenting
Yeah,
on the
just keep
subject.
repeating.
You should be picking up cans alongside of the road at best. So you have
You're
to
done,
you have
John.
to
You're done.
falsify
You can
the delayed
pretend to make
choice
these
quantum
arguments. You're
erasure that's
done.
going to be
I think
presented
I'm
on
gonna
Saturday, and
rebaptize this
I
hangout
can't
to
wait.
the creation versus evolution debate.
Are
You're
you
just
still
a
here,
snake.
Nathan?
You're
Nathan,
just a
are you
snake
still
using
here?
deception,
Yeah, I'm
John.
still
That's
here.
all that's happening here. We got your number. We know
Hello,
what you're
Nathan
doing.
Thompson. How you doing?
And Nathan Oakley, like, do you
Hold
remember
on one
back in the
second.
day when
Just 1 second.
He
Just
said,
1
"Hold
second.
on 1 second."
I'll say it like 10 times and people just ignore me and
Right.
carry on talking.
Right.
Hey, Nathan Thompson, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Long time listener, bro. I love everything you guys are doing. And I appreciate it.
Good to have you. Thanks for joining.
Hey,
Nathan Oakley,
Nathan Thompson,
just really
nice job
quickly,
on
if
the
that's
Netflix video, man. Good job
Nathan
on the Netflix
Oakley.
thing, John Thompson.
Do you remember back in the day, Nathan, when IPS came on, and you guys were talking about, God and creation, and he spoke of the infinite, and you brought it back down to things just replicate themselves? Do you know where I'm going with that?
I don't, but carry on.
Okay,
Wow.
because, well, no, I thought it
I
was
see
sort of
exactly
like
where you're going.
one of those pivotal things, because beyond the flat Earth, sphere Earth debate and conversation, we still haven't got to the nut and the linchpin of where we are, where we really come from. I mean, the species itself, the chicken, the egg thing, we still haven't cracked that open. We don't know where we come from.
Yes, we have already cracked
We
it
don't
open.
even know
So I
what
don't know
we
where
even
you've
are.
been.
No, you didn't. Go munch some crayons. You
yeah.
did nothing.
This is getting kind of chalky, guys.
Yeah,
So
Well, it's not
really
really
like
like
graveyard. Like I said,
this
they
is
can come
what's
by on
beyond that
Saturday,
question.
right, and falsify the delayed choice quantum
go
eraser.
choose some chalk.
That's all they have
No,
to do.
stop. I
Stop
like to hear this
trolling,
guy.
Flat Earth.
That was brilliant, actually. Talk about infinity. When you talk about things always being here, you're talking about infinity. What's infinite? Well, you have
Infinity.
things like
There is
Mandelbrot,
no
you have
such-
fractals,
no such
you have
things
people
exist.
coming out of people. You
There's no
literally have
scientific proof of
people
infinity.
coming out of people. Yeah, you do.
People
You have
coming out of people.
Coming out
What a
of
scholar
people
you
in
are.
a loop forever.
When's your road
Nathan
scholarship
knows
That's
about
at?
that.
cyclical,
I
and
know
it's
about
not
that.
guaranteed.
It's not
Can I make a-
cyclical.
Yeah,
It's
it is
fractal.
cyclical.
It
Can I
goes
make a
in.
comment?
It's
It's
infinite. It's
fractal.
forever.
It's
It's
cyclical.
fractal, really? That's not functional sequence specified complexity. Do you know the 3 types of complexity? Anon.
No,
Hello,
but I know that
Anon.
I saw a fractal.
Fractal. What's a fractal?
Yeah. What's
People
a human
coming out of
being?
people. It's a if you
Come
if
on,
you
guys.
if-
What's a
if-
human being?
Yeah.
You don't even
hold
know.
on.
Not you. Not you.
You don't
Anon.
even
This
know
guy
what
just
you
blew
even
my
are.
mind. I
Hold
like
on, what mind?
whoever you are, sir. Whoever you are, I like you. The idea of infinite and it just hit me. That like and Flatner saying it's
Yeah.
always been here. It's always been here. We always loop out of
Always,
each other.
that's the
It's
first and
very
second law of
easy.
thermodynamics.
Very
Okay,
easy.
hold on.
And the law of information
No
violation.
creator
Sorry,
needed. Thanks.
sorry, guys. Can I
Wow,
just get
that's
control again for a
brilliant.
second? I'm keeping the live show going because this is great. So let me just get my composure and then hopefully get
Stop
slightly back on
defending
track.
John and you'll be able to end the show.
Shut
No,
up.
I'm gonna keep it going.
Flatner.
You shut up, chalk
Well,
muncher.
credit to
Clown
Nathan.
show.
God.
You think ink, paper, and glue
Nathan
molecules offer
category
technical
Elmer
instruction
Fudd.
manuals and blueprints? You're a clown.
This is worse than
Elmer
having the
Fudd.
ballers over here.
Right, let me just try
This
once
is
more.
awesome.
Let me try once more.
Major
Right, let me try.
category error.
Okay, so Anon has used the word fractal. Now, this is something that I am not experienced in, and I'd like to hear the conversation. So John's just used a whole bunch of terms that make it clear to me in an instant that he knows what he's talking about. So I'd like to know about this. I've used this argument. Clearly, it's been brought up in reference to me and something I've said on an IPS show, which I can't remember. So, great. Let's have this conversation.
Yep. What's fractal?
Mandelbrot. He invented
Yeah,
it,
the
or he
Mandelbrot
discovered
set.
It's
You got it.
basically-
You just
it's
looked it up on Google,
hold
right?
on.
Okay,
It's
so
a
that's
shape-
Shut up,
Oh
Chalk
my God,
Muncher.
moron.
Give him a
Jeez.
chance. Give him a chance.
Go on and on. Let's hear
It's
your
a
citation.
geometric shape that you basically can create infinite creations going down, coming from the same the parent, I guess.
Yeah, like
you
happens in all of life. Yes.
Exactly. It recreates. It's just you can never stop zooming in. You can create infinite complexity from simplicity from one line, and you zoom into that line, and it's more of the line. It's just like watching a leaf. It's like watching a bird.
So fractals
It's like
create.
watching
Guaranteed
Okay.
to be eternal, bro.
Okay, I
So
think
fractals
we've got it.
create. How do fractal? What is a fractal?
I just explained it.
No,
It's
you
a
didn't.
concept.
You didn't tell me. You gave us an example of an ever-repeating geometric shape, like a Mandelbrot set. That doesn't
Sure.
tell me
Yep.
what it is. What is it that
That's
creates?
true.
Why don't you tell me?
Okay,
You're
well,
No, it's your claim.
yeah.
John
so-
has no
I already
idea.
told
No,
you.
no,
John
no,
doesn't
no,
know.
let's
Don't
keep it on
bother
track.
defending
Stop.
him. John just doesn't know he's an idiot.
Obviously, he does know. It's just at the beginning. If
No,
people
obviously not.
if you rewind this stream, you'll hear him detail specific terms in reference to fractals. So I know instantly, with no knowledge of this, I'm not going to pretend I have the vaguest clue about this, but I know John knows because he's used the terminology that's vaguely familiar to me. Now I'm going to put my hand up and say, I don't know, but I'd like to, and it requires a bit of humility. Now it's a non that's in that seat. It's a non that's just going to say, I don't really
told
know.
you.
I've used the term.
I described-
I've also used the term probably incorrectly. So at this point, have a bit of humility, say I don't know, and then we can move on.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Nice
we
one,
all
Nathan.
have an idea of what a fractal is. And the point of his argument is that infinity plus
is it?
everything being here all for always, it makes sense. So if you would stick to the point, you wouldn't need to define a fractal. But you guys
That's
just
not
act like you
infinity.
don't know what he's talking about.
He said
It's
a
ridiculous.
fractal creates.
Can I
That's
ask
what
a
he said.
clarifying question? Can I ask a clarifying question?
Right.
Oh,
so this
God.
is
Sure,
we're
Paul.
talking about the ontological primitives. We're well and truly on track. And he said that the creation can come from this fractal. So if we don't know what it means, then it's a
Not
duff
come
argument.
from a fractal.
Say
It's
again,
not
Anon.
that it's coming from a fractal.
Can
It's
I ask
always
a
That's
been
what
there.
you
clarifying
said,
question?
though. You said the fractal creates and then recreates.
Hold on, we've got a new guest. Hey, Event Skeptic, how you doing?
Oh, good.
Yeah, it creates and
Hey, John,
recreates
Hold on.
from ingredients that
Hold
always
on.
been on
you
Earth.
have open?
Oh,
Why don't
just
you-
need to say
why
hello
don't
to
you
our new
read the
guest.
wiki
We
page?
are still
Gotta
live.
clarify
We
before
do
this
still have an
continues.
audience. Several hundred people just want to say hello to our new guest. Hello, Event Skeptic. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very good to have
Yeah,
you.
fractals create and recreate from all the ingredients that have always been on Earth. Always.
First and second law of thermodynamics violation. And where'd
Yeah,
you
the
get the
creator
fractal?
violates the
You're like a
first law.
parrot.
Where'd you
Can
get the
I ask a
fractal?
question?
Because no, you
outside of
can't.
the
Not
first
not
law.
yet. Where'd you get the fractal? Because to have matter, which a fractal is made of, you have to have information first. And to have information, you need a knower. Simple. Your argument's done. We can go clean the bathroom.
Okay, so sorry, let's just get charged again. Was that clear? Was that clear?
I really.
It's not information, it's just existence, right?
I really want to hear the guy.
Hold
who
on,
brought
he's
this
looking
whole
for an
fractal thing
affirmation.
up.
Anon!
Yeah, Merle.
If you can't affirm the answer, say it again.
Are you talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah, well, Earth Flattener asked a question. There's a long pause waiting for an affirmation. Either John didn't hear the question, or there isn't an answer. One or the
I
other.
didn't hear the question.
Fine. Can you repeat yourself, please, Earth Flattener? Anon, please don't reply.
You don't need information, you just need existence.
So nuh-uh.
You don't need information. You just need things to exist, and they naturally attract.
You can't have
or
existence
don't
without
attract.
information.
It's a balance.
That's scientifically
Everything is in a
validated.
balance.
Okay, Flatner, there is a reply, and I'm going to plug Ballbusters on Saturday, 3 p.m. Central Time and 8 p.m. UK time, because we'll be
2
covering...
p.m. Central.
What is it?
2 p.m. Central US.
2 p.m. Central. We'll be covering the quantum eraser and the double slit experiment. So
No, the delayed choice quantum
delayed
eraser.
choice quantum eraser and the double slit.
Yeah. It's a hijacking of science. A good fundy fest it'll be.
Yeah, thanks. What's your support?
I've been trying to.
No, that's off the rails, John. Come on, work with me.
No, it is on the rails because he's saying that that existence is all there is. There is no information. Well, that's scientifically falsified by the past 100 years of quantum mechanics, but 5,000 experiments. Probably
Yes or not?
tens of thousands more. I'm just lowballing.
Or maybe you just have a belief.
No, I don't have a belief.
Hey,
I have
John.
knowledge, empirical evidence.
You're not addressing it. Flat Earth, it's valid scientifically. Experiments, all those things we ask for. Yeah?
Photons are valid. You can't see a photon.
Oh God, here we
You
go.
can see the you can see the
It's
result of a
quantum
photon,
mechanics
right?
is much more than photons.
Light energy.
Hold on.
Hold
on.
It's what? It's white energy? Do we have
Hold on.
different answers?
This is a false equivalence. The double slit and the delayed choice quantum eraser are not validating photons. They're validating the cause being the knowledge.
Yeah, they're bypassing
They're
the
using
deception.
photons.
They're bypassing. They're walking past the graveyard and not seeing that photons are actually nonsense.
You've just ignored what I've just said. These experiments are not validating
Hey,
photons.
all you do is ignore what I say, so why can't I do it to you?
Because
you keep saying that I say everything comes from nothing, which I never say.
Nathan, you
Second grade
said that
playground.
all of this-
That's what I am,
Nathan,
but what are
Nathan,
you?
Sorry,
Nathan,
so you
please.
have just ignored my point and then charged me with the same, which is ignoring your point,
No,
which
no,
I'm absolutely not doing.
Nathan, listen, please.
Oh, Anon's going to
You
rumpus me
would-
while I
Yeah,
try and
he
talk
is.
to Flat Earth. Jesus wept.
Yeah.
So, Flat and Earth, you haven't actually addressed what I've said.
Go ahead, say it.
He
Can
didn't
I
listen
just say
to it.
something,
Say it again.
please? Okay, I'm gonna say one thing, please. Nathan, I've
Now,
heard
are you
enough
Earth Flattener? Then be quiet.
Well, you're
Earth
going to have to
Flattener,
repeat
got
what
a
you said,
question
because
on to
Nathan
you.
right now, he's just being a fundy, so I'm not really
There's a
listening to what you're
question
saying.
to you.
You're just
Answer the
defending
question
John.
from Nathan, please.
Go ahead, ask it again then.
I've forgotten what the question was now.
Good, I'm glad, because it's nonsense. It's bullshit anyway. Don't worry about
Oh
it.
boy.
What was the question?
Nathan, I have heard you enough.
Acting like
I
a
can.
baller, Flatner.
Retard, seriously.
I
Now
got
our
you,
wind's
Nathan.
going to kick me.
a,
Yes.
It's a clown show, man. I
Am I
got you. It's
muted?
hard to keep track.
Can I
It's hard
ask,
to keep
And
track.
you're the biggest clown of all, John. Yes,
can I ask
you're
the
right.
question about the
That's
the
not what your
fractals?
sister said.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Go on, Paul. Hopefully you'll get us back on the rails, because I can't.
Okay. Now, as far as I've always understand about fractals, only time I've ever seen them is either on a computer simulation or a mathematical construct. Am I right?
A tree is a fractal.
Okay, it may be.
A snowflake.
Okay. Okay, that's not my point. Now, okay, so you're saying that it's describing reality, correct? Or is that what you're saying? Okay.
Sure.
So
I'm
if you're saying
that
it,
reality mimics it, yes, I see it. I see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. Fractals is anything that basically gives birth or creates another thing is it's a fractal. Like
okay. Now you said a second ago that if I understand you correctly, that and if you look at a fractal on a computer simulation, that you can go down and down and down and down and sound deeper, 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 right?
yeah, those are the Mandelbrot fractals, which are mathematical, and it's a pretty little way of drawing, and doing it. But I'm saying, like, I see fractals in life. Anything that gives birth is basically a living fractal.
Okay, but that doesn't. Hang on, Erwin. Don't jump in. Okay, don't jump in. Just because you see something and you can use a mathematical construct to describe something, that still doesn't give you an explanation of its existence or the reason why that law.
That's right.
It
photons.
sure doesn't, but it's better than Jesus. That's my point.
Well,
I
Theodore
don't know.
Apophis says that if you break
I
a
don't
magnet,
know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm very comfortable in saying I don't know.
That's an argument
but
from
I'm
ignorance.
But to claim that, I believe in, quantum mechanics and then somehow Jesus, that's what that's where I'm off. That's where it doesn't
But
compute.
see, we've already dealt with that. I've already dealt with that. We've already dealt with that. That's the quantum eraser experiment is a different question. Jesus' existence and who Jesus is a different question, and there's different
My
evidence
point
for
is
both
John
sides
likes
of
to
that.
connect those two. John
No,
goes quantum
There is a connection.
eraser.
There is a
and then-
connection.
No, he doesn't.
Right, that's where
What?
I've remembered.
I've heard
I've
you
remembered the question to
on
Flat Earth
videos.
now. That's jogged my memory. So the straw man or red herring that was brought up by Earth Flattener
Wow.
was
They
was-
went into a huddle. Nice job, John.
what?
What the hell are you talking about? Are you
I don't-
delusional?
I don't know.
Went into a huddle.
Just seems to just want to rumpus this. So the
Sorry,
point.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The point was that you were saying photons, not real. It's like, well, that's not what those experiments are about. They're specifically about the ontological primitives. They're directly linked because it's specifically about knowledge. Knowledge of the witch path.
Nathan, I've heard you use the Cavendish experiment and destroy it to claim that, these are just stuff within
Well, the delayed choice quantum eraser is
exper-
not the Cavendish experiment. False
Yeah,
equivalence
it's worse.
fallacy. Stupid
it's
one at
worse.
that.
It's even crazier. At least I can see the goddamn brass balls. I can't even see the photons. And people claim that it's not photons. Some of the
Okay.
smartest
You
minds
can't see.
in our
Hold on,
history
I'll
claim
roll with
that
this.
there's no such things as photons.
Okay, I'll roll with that. What we do when people say Cavendish is the first question we ask them is, what's the natural phenomena observed? So feel free to put John to task.
Okay, where is the natural phenomena observed? Where is
Photons,
where's-
electrons, protons, neutrons, atoms, and molecules
wait,
exhibit both wave.
those are
What?
observed
You gonna let me
phenomena? I can
finish?
What the hell is going on, Anon?
Phenomena.
What the hell's your problem?
Because they're not observed phenomena. I cannot see a
I didn't even hear a full sentence from him. I didn't hear a full
Nope.
sentence.
Nope, and you won't. I'm not giving it to him. Stop it.
Tune in on Saturday for Ballbusters 7, I think it is, where we'll be covering the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment.
I want to
Hey, John's a military guy, right?
He doesn't have an answer.
I don't think he does either.
Nope.
As I
Like,
say,
you don't even know what the laws of thermodynamics are.
tune in on Saturday, where
is
answers
the
will be
observed
in
phenomenon?
abundance.
Yes, they
Not an
will.
experiment.
You'll get your chance to come on too.
Yeah, I'll do a proper plug based on that. So yeah, on Saturday we're going to be trying out hopefully Discord with Ballbusters. So in the show we'll release a link in the info box in the same but similar to what we do now. So rather than it being a hangout based show, we've got more control over it being more like a phone in if it's on Discord. So you'll join and you'll be kept on mute so you can't rumpus the holding pen, so it were, and then you can actually ask a question directly to the panel during Ballbusters, where we will cover the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment. So feel free to join.
Yeah, you'll cover it like fundies do. Have a
I
nice
have the
time.
link. Nathan, do you want me to?
I sure would like to know where you see protons and electrons in nature.
Yeah, it's called Lite.
Hey, John.
Listen to that nervous laughter.
Oh,
John,
God.
were you in the military?
He's starting to mystic meg divine things from my laughter and shit. Have you considered carnival as a vocation?
It's been a fun show. I've got to admit, I've really enjoyed today's show.
It's all
What
up
else
to
can
you.
you divine? Here, let me do this. What does that mean? Come on, diviner.
Now you're just gone crazy.
Yeah, you keep laughing it up
you're
like
divining
ballers
us
laugh
out.
at
You're
us about
clowns.
flat Earth.
Let's
Slap
ask
it up.
Anon. Anon, what is the second law of thermodynamics?
Shut up.
Oh
You're
my
appealing to
God.
consensus. Shut your face,
It's
idiot.
fucking entropy. We've
Hold
been
on, he's
through
asking
Go
Anon.
preach it on Ballbusters.
He's asking
consent?
Anon.
high pressure, low pressure,
Yeah.
heat to cold.
The only
yada,
person
yada.
that Anon has is me here.
Yada yada. He can only repeat the same thing I've said before, right? What is the second law of thermodynamics? Give me the classical definition.
What? So you're in front of a computer. You can just read it off the wiki. I'm not.
Hey, John,
You're the parrot here, John. You do it. You like to be a parrot, John, so go ahead and do it.
I asked him. You guys are commenting on the laws of thermodynamics. I asked all of you. Slick didn't know what it was. You don't know what it is, IQ Flattener. Now I'm asking Anon. Give us the second law of thermodynamics. He could have Googled it by now. Come on.
No, I know what it is.
Eraser experiment.
Yeah, right.
You have a delayed quantum eraser experiment.
That's not the second law of
Where is the
thermodynamics.
observed phenomena?
Hold on.
That's not.
Hold on, John. Anon. So earlier on the show, my warped mind just Googled it and said, "I'm no expert. Here's the definition I'm reading out," and it was pretty good.
Sure. I can't read right now. I'm not in front of a computer. So sorry.
Why would you need to read it?
Can't you hear
I was
the-
just about to say exactly that. Why would you need to read it?
What do you mean? You just told me.
You're
that the other guy
commenting
read
on it.
You're painting yourself as a pretender clown.
Yep. Thank
No,
you.
I'm not.
No further questions.
Second what?
You just told me to read something for you and Google it. I'm telling you, I'm not in front of a computer. So
Okay,
how is that?
okay. Let me just give you an equivalence, just because it hasn't sunk in. Do you know what are you a mechanic? First of all, hopefully not.
I'm not a mechanic.
Perfect.
I'm a
Perfect.
data
Perfect.
center guy.
Perfect. Perfect. Do you know what a turbocharger is?
Vaguely.
Perfect. Right. So if you start asserting how the intricacies of turbochargers work, and then someone says, "Well, how does a turbocharger work?" and you go, "I haven't got Google to look it up," that makes you a pretender clown muppet.
That's right.
I'm asking you
Lovely.
about an observed phenomena in the B.
Oh, there he
photons,
goes.
because I
He's
know
going to
that's
red
what that
herring
is.
fallacy
What
away
is
from
the
it.
That's what
observed
I'm
phenomena?
asking too.
What does that have to do with second law of thermodynamics? You're basically taking me off the tangent. All I'm asking you
No,
is what
I asked
is
you.
your observed phenomena in your delayed quantum?
No, I asked you. I
choice
tried to give it
eraser
to you guys, but
experiment?
you rumpus me, and
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna have to
rumpus
wait
the
till
hell out of
Saturday.
him. You can't use that as an excuse. I mean,
No,
he
he
might
said
be kind
photon,
enough,
you
because
see
we are
photons.
live, to
I
go
don't see
through it
photons.
again, but while I'm suggesting that, you're rumpusing me.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yep.
when John comes in and
I
says that
asked
his
you.
turbocharger
No.
is the
We're
best,
not diverting away there, IQ Flattener. I asked
when John
Anon
says
what the
that his
second law of
turbocharger is the best and it
thermodynamics
has the
was.
highest
Right,
Okay,
we're
energy,
wait.
then I'm
rumpusing
going to
him.
go
We're
look it
never
up.
gonna get any answers to any questions this
I
week.
told him to look it up to expose him that he didn't know what it was to begin with. Are you following now?
I told you
God, are
everything
you
decays.
stupid.
Heat to cold. High pressure to low pressure. Atoms eventually find an equilibrium. I told you what I think it is. I don't have a textbook verbatim parroting like you do. I told you what I think it is.
Like I do, you
and
just
that's-
parroted me.
No, I
Right?
didn't
That's what
parrot
I've been
you.
saying for the past 8 months on this show. What the second
first
law of
thing. If you
thermodynamics was.
if you look
Heat
it
flows
up
from hot to
on-
cold
if-
always. High pressure to low pressure always.
rumpus
So
me.
you just
Oh, here we go.
parroted
Yes,
me.
parrot.
Right?
And
you just
parroted
parroted
some
me.
other book. It's parroting parrots.
Okay, if those are facts, you just said that heat flows from hot to cold, right? And high gas pressure to low pressure, right?
Unless you have that
So that's-
devil. Unless
So
you have
that's
that
entropy
devil in the middle,
increase.
which
So how
basically
can you
moves
have
atoms.
the Earth exist forever with entropy at play? Please, go ahead.
Yeah, the devil in the middle that keeps opening and closing the door. I know what you're talking about, Anon.
You have the sun.
Breaking up.
What is he? Is he in the throes of death or something?
No, he's breaking up.
Getting so tedious.
Well, I know one question I had. And I
No new questions. That's the main point
Okay, no
again.
problem.
It's the
No
main
problem.
point again. So
said
if
no
you've got
problem.
entropy at play, and we've got this ham-handed definition from somebody repeating John, is John's point, which is Anon. Well, if you have that which you describe at play in the natural world, how can you have it always be in existence?
Because you have a thing that we don't know what it is, namely the sun, putting in energy into the system all day.
Hey,
The sun,
let me
the
break it down
world's
for you.
largest
hold on.
entropy generator in the history of man.
Right.
You clown.
So what you're saying,
That's
Anon,
like
is
trying-
so hold on, Anon, you're saying the sun is increasing entropy.
That's like saying
Nope.
that the gas pressure
it's
is
not
out
increasing
next
entropy.
to a vacuum. Serious.
Hold on, we've got a contrary opinion. So you're saying the sun is not increasing entropy?
No, it's keeping everything balanced and in equilibrium with the
really?
cycles that are going on with Earth. Yes.
Okay, then let's try my skivvies experiment. What I want you to do
Oh,
is
here we
I want
go.
you to
Yes,
strip
your
down to
stupid
your
tracker.
skivvies.
Oh,
Hold
God,
on a
why?
second. Shut up. This is an
sake, can you just
experiment. I
let
want you to
Why?
try. It's a
Why are you
personal.
doing this? I didn't hear a word of
He's
that.
just
So
he's
because
just a
you,
parrot.
what you're
He's
doing,
a- he
this
said
is a
this
show.
Censoring
Earth
him.
flattener,
Dude.
listen closely. Just
All right,
because
go.
you know what's coming doesn't mean the audience need you to shit all over every word anyone else says. Other people
All I'm doing is what John
might
does,
not.
just shitting on everybody.
Yeah, but other people might not know this argument. So just because you know
yeah,
it
but
doesn't
they
mean
know John shits on everybody's points constantly.
just rumpusing everyone.
You're awesome, Nathan.
Go ahead, John.
Like I said, he said that the sun does not cause entropy. Okay, not a problem. Let's do the skivvies experiment. We want him to have this on video. So what we want you to do is this summer, because it's getting real close to, where's he from, by the way? Where's he at?
I'm from wherever the sun gives me vitamin D because that's how the sun gives us
where
life.
is he? Where are you?
Unlike
Like
plants, which get life
geography.
from their sun.
Where are you in the
because
States?
it's not increasing
All
entropy.
right, never mind.
Plants are taking the
we'll
energy of
we'll
the
just
sun
go
in.
to an ideal place. Let's go to Hawaii
You asked
because
me a
the sun gets
question.
pretty hot down there.
Yeah, Hawaii,
So,
where the sun
we
gives
want you to
all
go
the
to
plants
Hawaii,
life,
right? We're going to
because
try this.
everything is
See,
in
he
a
won't let me
cycle.
speak,
Okay, let's
Nathan.
go there.
He
I
just
know,
won't do
it's
it.
just rumpusing the crap out of everyone so nobody enjoys the show.
Dude, let him
So
talk. I
basically,
wanna
you're a
hear it.
bitch.
I haven't heard
You're a
it.
bitch, aren't you? You're not enjoying yourself, so you're going to ruin it for everyone, you little bitch.
I think this is great. You're a
Yeah,
bitch.
go all high pitched like a
You're all
little bitch. Shut your
Am I
mouth,
high-
bitch.
am I getting high
I'll
pitched?
start talking to you
Okay.
like you are then. Yeah, you want to be talked to, you want to be treated like a bitch. Because I'm going to start treating you like a bitch. Shut your mouth, bitch. Yeah, someone else is talking, bitch. We don't want to hear you no more, bitch. Shut up while other people talk, you little bitch.
Bang. It's done. Sorry.
Guys, please.
Even
Can we try
Paula
this?
was asking
Can we
me
try
to
my
do it.
experiment?
I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't get to hear the end of it.
It's his tractor. Let's hear it.
I didn't start the skivvies experiment yet. We just got to Hawaii.
Anyway, go
Go
on.
ahead.
Okay.
So we're in
Can
Hawaii.
I go ahead on the rope?
Aloha, Hawaii. Happy days.
So
Don't
I'm
boot
a
him.
bitch, but I'm not
Right?
John.
No. Don't boot Flat and Earth. Whoever booted him, I don't care. Just leave him be.
I'm a bitch, but I'm not John's bitch.
Oh.
I think
Guys, let him talk. Let him
Go
talk,
ahead,
man.
John.
Let
Let's
him-
just
I wanna
hear the
story.
experiment. The Skippies experiment or whatever it is.
Let's hear it.
I call it the skivvies experiment. You know, skivvies underwear, right?
Okay.
The skivvies experiment because he said the sun doesn't cause entropy. Okay, not a problem. I want him to go to
I
Hawaii.
never said that.
And can I speak? Thank you. I want him to go to Hawaii, and from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock every day, I want him to come out in his skivvies, and I want him to lay out in the sun. Now, we don't want him to vapor lock, so we're going to give him some water, and he can have a little food. That's not a problem. But for every day from 5 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, I want him to sit out there in the sun. Now, on the 5th day, I want you to tell me, has your skin increased or decreased in entropy?
It will have increased in
Thank
entropy,
you.
but the sun
Have a
gives
nice
everything
day.
else life. The sun gives plants
I
life.
never
We
said
eat the
Earth.
plants. Everything is in a cycle.
Can I make a comment?
Sorry, so the sun does definitely increase entropy then?
It does.
I never said it
I'm
doesn't.
not just.
I think Arwen did.
Was that a yes?
skivvies
Sorry,
touch.
hold on. Was that a yes, Flatter?
Okay, wait. That it doesn't increase entropy in that everything is in a balance. So whatever it is putting in, Earth is taking out.
So your skin's
Or
in a
using
balance, huh? At the
in
end
a
of the
cycle.
5th day. After you get out of the hospital, we want you to tell us whether your skin increased or decreased in entropy.
And what happens to plants? Do they increase or decrease from
Can
the
I
sun?
make a comment? Can I make a comment about that?
Increase.
Okay. Can I make a comment? Sorry. Can you hear me?
Go on, Paul.
Yep.
Okay. Now there's a problem. There's a problem with your thought process, though. When we talked about this before, and I'll bring it up, you still come back to it. You have to have some level of information involved. Like you said, the sun provides vitamin D for the human body. You said that a second ago. Now, the problem is there's a mechanism built into the human body that converts sunlight to vitamin D. So there's a lot of information involved to make that process occur.
Yes, that's correct. And
Okay.
most animals produce it just by themselves.
Erwan, I'm not done.
But wait a second. He has a point, but we're getting off my point. The Skivvies experiment, he still hasn't answered the question.
Yes, it's going to increase our entropy, but that doesn't mean that the sun increases the entropy
That's all
of
we
the
know.
Earth.
That's all we need.
It doesn't increase the entropy of the Earth. The sun keeps everything in balance.
No further questions.
Just because
it doesn't.
our entropy,
No, it doesn't. The sun does not keep it in balance.
Well, I think it
information keeps things in balance.
I think water, earth, and everything else that's on Earth keeps
who
everything else
cares
in
what you
balance,
think?
including the sun.
So does the sun regrow mountains that deteriorate?
So he already answered my question, Nathan. So it refuted his prior claim that the sun doesn't increase entropy. So
you can
he's
say
done.
that it does, but it doesn't.
And anyone knows we can shelve the Skivvies experiment. Just leave your car outside for like 5 or 10 years unprotected, and the roof.
I don't even know
right?
why here.
And watch the paint peel off the roof of your car. That's another example of entropy. In Texas, the sun will eat a tire right off the tractor.
That's the cherry picking I was talking about.
Yeah, that's the cherry picking. That is the cherry picking.
What's cherry picking? What the observed phenomena is for your delayed quantum choice eraser experiment? What is the observed phenomena? I saw a photon and a sister photon move. What?
Cherry
What's the
picking
observed phenomena?
Just wait till Saturday and you'll see it. Which cherry picking?
I've already seen it. I've already seen your video, and the whole time I was just like,
which cherry picking, Slick?
Your cherry picking is like your Skivvies experiment. That's you cherry picking one thing and trying to apply. Are you going to let me finish, or are you afraid? Now you cherry picking that one situation and trying to apply it to the whole law. That's cherry picking.
Yeah, that's an example of entropy increase. That's not cherry picking. That's giving you examples. I've given 3.
Right. Well, there's probably thousands. Just because you
picked
there
your
is.
3 that's not cherry picking.
Doesn't mean anything.
Define cherry picking.
Fuck, I wish I
Define cherry picking, Slick.
Listen, I don't want to play that dumb game with you.
Yeah, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You are a pretender clown.
Everybody knows what you're saying.
No further questions.
Don't worry about it, Slick.
Hey, we got major scientific errors on the table I'd like to correct.
Please.
Okay, the first I have clarification is the assertion that plants eat sunlight.
Converted to photosynthesis. Or they use photosynthesis.
Hold on. That's an error. Now, Paul said we use light for vitamin D. What did he say?
I said the vitamin D, your body takes sunlight and processes it and turns it into vitamin D.
False. Both of those are false. I'll explain. What occurs in both of those situations is the energy from the light is used to convert molecules that already are in the body. The energy is used. It's not converted into another substance.
That's more semantics, I guess, than anything. It's semantic.
Nice.
So I mean, I'm basically the body uses.
Semantic is important.
I agree.
That is absolute utter nonsense. To assert that and then say it's a semantical argument is nonsense.
It is.
No, we talked about how semantic is important. So actually, please, can you
elaborate
on that?
You can't create it, energy nor destroy it, only change it. So how is that not valid, Theo?
All right, pay attention. The light travels from the sun and it hits your body. It then uses the energy. Okay, the light energy changes the molecules that already exist in your body. The energy from the light is used to do that.
But how does it apply heat? Because heat is clear energy increased locally, causing more friction that is expressed in heat.
Wait a second. I'd like to get back to Mr. Vitamin D expert here. Mr. Vitamin D expert. So your body uses the energy. Okay, let's say I get a blowtorch, and I bring the blowtorch closer to my leg, right? Now, does my leg, the skin cells in my leg, take that energy from the blowtorch and convert it to vitamin D? So that it's more than just energy, isn't it, clown show?
It's not about energy itself. It's about the sunlight itself.
It's about a certain type of energy. Is that correct, sir?
Bingo, it's a certain type. So when sunlight hits your body to form vitamin D, stuff inside your body is being altered by the sunlight.
Stuff.
That is what vitamin D is. The light become
what
vitamin
stuff
D.
might that be, sir, Mr. Expert?
Hey, well, hold on.
Why are you so rude?
John, you
Well,
broke up
Mr.
completely,
Expert had
so
to
wait till
correct
everyone stops
Paul.
talking and let John start again.
Mr. Expert wanted to correct Paul, so I want to get Mr. Expert to tell us what his stuff is.
He never claimed to be an expert.
He just said that, yeah, he more or less did and corrected Paul.
John, you're attacking everyone just to have a different
I'm not
opinion,
attacking.
bro.
Listen, he attacked Paul, and
I
Paul
think
had to
you're right.
turn over and say, "Okay, you're right, sir." But what Theo said was incorrect, and I used the blowtorch example.
Oh, and he was trying to explain, and you talked
Blowtorch is not.
I didn't try to. I didn't.
And there was an
said
ultimate
stuff.
point I was trying to make, but beyond that.
Analogous to my example.
He said stuff. I want to know what stuff. Please, Mr. Vitamin D expert, please explain to us.
Okay, check it out. I don't know why you're so hostile, but check it out.
I'm not hostile. I
When
was
you
just
eat-
asking. Sorry.
When you eat, you cannot get vitamin D unless you take it directly, but your body produces it. How it produces it is it puts the little chemicals from what you eat into your skin. It then waits for the sunlight to hit it. The sunlight hitting it is what catalyzes the molecules into vitamin D.
Okay, what molecule is that, sir?
D, the sunlight is the energy used to create the vitamin D.
It's a
That ultimately wasn't my point.
Catalytic reaction. That is what photosynthesis is within the plant. The plant doesn't convert light into food. It sucks the food up from the ground, puts it into its leaves. The light hits it and converts it into something it can use.
There
you go, Arwen. We're a plant.
Yeah, and Paul's point.
I was making an ultimate point. Wait a minute.
Hold on a second. Paul's point that process of photosynthesis required information. He was correct. You said he wasn't.
No, that's correct.
Oh,
that was my
okay.
point.
All right.
The light.
I might have got the details wrong, but that was my point.
So, do you know what information he was talking about? That Paul was talking about?
The body's plant
what was your actual statement that you said again?
To me?
I just wanted. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
I said ultimately my point was. I mean, I took anatomy a long time ago. My statement was I was basically saying you need basically information is the only thing that can, in a sense, slow entropy and make energy useful. That's ultimately my point. Is information is required.
Yeah, you just need existence, not information.
Yeah, we already pummeled that, an hour earlier.
Okay,
so,
sure.
Go ahead, Paul.
No, that was all. That's simply it. I could make it long-winded and piss off James or Slick and all that stuff. That's simply it. I mean, you have to have information to even like solar energy. Solar is good. Like we have solar panels. We know that this chemical process, when the light hits that, it creates electricity. We know when that energy hits our body, there's information that's required to accomplish that task. So I'm trying to counteract what Anon and what Flat Earther and what even Slick is saying. Existence does not account for information. It doesn't account for it.
Okay, information is outside of the natural realm then?
Yeah, information is neither matter nor energy. It doesn't have chemical formula, structure, charge, mass, momentum, or spin, and it doesn't have millielectron volts, kcals, or kilojoules.
Yes.
If I say, look out, there's a tiger behind you, that's information. right? So give me the chemical formula and structure for my statement. That's right.
Look out,
So
there's a tiger behind you. Has that got calories?
Yeah. Exactly.
Seriously,
Exactly.
it's not a
So
rhetorical
for the
question.
person that was
What's the stuff involved in that statement? Look out, there's a tiger behind you. What's the energy? What's the calorie count?
How much does that weigh? How much does that sentence weigh? It
Right.
must have weighed a lot.
But it's still, what I'm hearing, it's still just a matter of people making claims of what they think they know about information. Nobody really, I'm not finished yet. I don't really think that just because you make this blanket statement what information is, that doesn't make you correct just because you're declaring it.
Well, defeat it. Well, refute it.
Yeah,
Show us
refute
the
it.
chemical
Tell me
formula,
what we
structure,
don't
charge,
understand.
mass,
I'm not,
momentum,
listen,
and
I'm not
spin.
refuting. Only thing
So
I'm
the
saying is just
millielectron
because you,
volts or
hold
the
on,
kilojoules
take
or
it easy.
kilojoules of my statement, which was information.
Just because you're sitting up here making these statements, that doesn't mean that they have any validity just because
Well,
you
they
said it.
do until
Nobody,
you refute them.
oh, I wish you, hush, please. Now, the point that I'm
Refute
trying to
them.
make is, oh, let
Baseless
him go. Go
assertion
ahead.
after baseless assertion you make. That's all you do, Slick.
It wasn't a statement, it was a question. So, well, mine was. So
It's just sharing his experience.
in that statement, which contains information, what's the value you can attribute to it? Can you give it a weight? Can you give it a calorie count? What can you give it?
I didn't really get a chance to make the statement because as I was trying to talk, I keep getting interrupted. Now I basically lost the train of thought.
Hey, so I got a
Oh,
question for you,
goodness
Slick.
gracious. You said that we don't know what we're talking about when mainly you're pointing at me. I love it. So let's go, Slick, me and you. You said that I didn't know what information was. Now shut up. So
Hey, listen,
you
let
have
me tell you
now,
something. You don't
oh
talk to
my
me like
God.
that. You
Listen
got
to
it.
this guy.
Listen,
Baseless
I'm not your
assertion
kid.
fallacy.
Now you don't tell
After
me to shut up.
baseless
You got it?
assertion fallacy.
Well, you
Or
were,
his wife.
it is kind of ironic that you were telling him he didn't know what
Shut
he
up,
was saying,
Slick.
and then you lost your train of thought. That's
Oh, shut up, Arwin.
Yeah, nobody asked you your
Oh my
opinion. Who asked you
goodness.
to throw in your 2 cents? Now, when
You
you talk to
shut
me,
your
John,
mouth.
with
you
You're
Nathan
talking
learn how
to
to
Slick.
talk
like
with
that.
respect.
Perfectly fine. I'm not gonna threaten Nathan over that.
Hey,
There's
John,
nothing to
do?
respect.
Nick?
You're just a clown.
Should we just
Hey.
genuflect?
He's
Timmy, here
threatening
comes
people,
Timmy,
Slick.
the
It's a
friggin'
really
fundamental
bad character
materialist to
trait.
save the day. Hey, Timmy, can you tell us how ink, paper, and glue molecules can friggin' author technical instruction manuals and blueprints? Please, the floor is yours.
Are you able to go off the script at any point in your
The
life?
script. I don't have a script.
Nope.
And even if I
Just a
was on
parrot.
script, the script
Hey,
wouldn't make any
You know how
sense
many
if
times
others
I've
weren't
heard that
on the
over the
same
years,
script.
dude?
So there's your
You know, we
argument
talked
there.
2 years
It's a
and you're
train wreck.
still saying the same creation science as when we talked 2 years
Creation
ago?
science as well. Truth doesn't change.
Well, at
Can
least
I
you're
ask
bringing creation science into the flat
That's
earth. That'll
right.
really make
Creation
it
science.
prove.
Shout out to Timmy
Creation
Osmosis.
science. What's creation science? Is that a no true
What you're
Scotsman fallacy that you're trying to
Second law
peddle
of
here?
Why don't you
thermodynamics.
guys
Or are we
just
going to look
start
at your
an
pictures
atheist
again?
flat earther
Your traveling
group?
clown show pictures, Timmy. You got those with
Anyway,
you?
you guys go at it. This guy just talks over me anyway.
Yeah, right, right. So we're still waiting, Timmy. We want you to show how ink, paper, and glue molecules can author technical instruction manuals and blueprints. Anytime you're ready, you can come back on and let us know. You can go out and do your Rhodes Scholar
It's neither
at
here
Romper
nor there.
Room
Really,
and come back.
really, what you need to explain
right?
is things like the 2 celestial points and all of the
Oh,
instruction.
here we go. It's 2 celestial points. And the stars are rotating in counterclockwise and clockwise directions, right?
That's why I can't come on and talk to this guy.
Right.
Creation scientists.
Come
they
on,
have,
Timmy.
like
I
chips on their
friggin'
shoulder, they
embarrassed
date
you
it.
3 years ago.
So
We got
so go
video
ahead.
after video of me pummeling you and that rumpus idiot. Why should I keep on having to do this thing with you? You don't know what science is. Your epistemology is pulling up wiki. That's your epistemology, along with the rest
I
of your
actually never do
ball-tard
that.
idiots.
You obviously don't watch my stuff, so I never do
No,
that.
I don't watch
actually
your
talk
stuff.
about people who do that. So
No,
that's
I
fine.
don't. So, are you going to
John,
tell us
well,
how
you
ink,
probably
paper,
shouldn't
and
make
glue
claims on my work,
molecules
then,
can author
John,
technical
because that
instruction
makes you a
manuals
liar,
and
and you need
blueprints?
to repent to your God. I'm just letting you know.
You know what I'm saying? So we're waiting for the answer to that question. Are you unfamiliar with that analogy? Do you want me to break it down for you?
It's so neither here nor there. So I'm just gonna have everyone move on. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
you're a fundy
that you're
materialist.
continuing this.
You're a fundy materialist. So that is pertinent to
Who
the
said
discussion.
I was a materialist? You don't even watch my work. You're
You
just
did.
actually
You did.
me. You're
You did.
strawmanning me.
We already know this. You told me that a long time ago. You're a
I
materialist.
said I was a materialist. I
Because you
never said
dogged
that.
me out
I said I'm not.
about being a creationist. There's only two choices. You're
Oh,
either a
there's
fundy
not.
materialist that's an atheist or an idealist. Only two choices, son.
Good luck
So
with
either
this.
you're a creationist. Are you telling me you're a creationist?
That's a false dichotomy, guys. Just
No,
FYI.
it's not. What's the third choice?
Yeah, so he thinks he
Everything
gets to
else.
declare.
What's
He
the third?
think he
We're
gets
not
to
asking you,
declare how
Slick.
many
What's the third
choices
choice,
there are.
Timmy?
Let's
You
slow
got
down.
nature
Let's actually
versus
talk about
intelligent
this.
design. What's the third choice?
Always existed is the third.
We're
choice.
not asking you, Slick. We
But
already
I
dealt
told
with your
you anyway,
nonsense
John.
before.
I told you
Stay out of the
anyway.
conversation, Timmy.
Don,
What
can
is
you
the
shut-
third ontological primitive? That's what I thought. No further questions.
Slick, can I ask you?
No,
a
I'm
question?
actually trying to clean, and I already said, go ahead, Nathan. I'm actually just listening, guys.
Yeah, hey, Slick, I think you're awesome.
Why
bro.
would you
You're
come
the
on
one-
here and just listen?
Hey, I've been
Can't you
listening
listen
for a long
outside?
time. Please, bro.
And Timmy's just coming in cold.
Yeah, just come in and take up a slot, right? Because you're a clown show. Answer the question. How can ink, paper, and glue molecules author technical instruction manuals and blueprints?
They can't.
How does
They
the
can't.
North Celestial
How
Planet and
does
South Celestial
and how
Planet
does
work
that?
on a
Do
flat
you know
Earth?
the analogy? That's ribose nucleobases and activated phosphates creating DNA on its own. We want you to show that using the second law of thermodynamics. Specifically, I want you to show that using Gibbs free energy. Do you know what that is? Delta
Why are
G?
you asking these
Do
things?
you know
of
what
me?
Delta G
Seriously.
is? That's not a disco
I'm
band
not
from
even
the
making
70s.
any
son.
claims against those. That's
So
what's
let's
funny.
start getting into the second law of thermodynamics. We'll bring Slick in because we want to know his knowledge of Gibbs free energy. Right?
Just anyone who looks at creation science, they always go on about second law of
Creation science?
thermodynamics and
What
entropy
science?
and
That's
evolution
a
and
no true
stuff.
Scotsman
This
fallacy. There's just
this
science.
has been debunked in the Great Debate for years.
There hasn't
so.
been debunked. What's been debunked?
Let's walk through it. Let's walk through it. If it's being debunked, let's walk through it.
Yeah, walk us through it, Timmy.
Go ahead. Walk us through it. Let's go part by
I
part.
got to do dishes, guys. I'm going to listen for a moment. Go ahead.
Yeah, got to do dishes. You're a Sally. Go back under the rock where you crawled out from. Slick. Let's
do
move to
dishes?
Slick. Let's move to Slick now. Mr. Slick, Mr. Second Law of Thermodynamics, can you explain what delta G is? That is Gibbs free energy. We want to get
Is
into
this
that.
one? Is this another one of your little cherry pick things that you try to
Cherry
throw on
pick,
people?
yeah, Gibbs
That's all
free
it
energy
is.
is a cherry
Listen,
pick with the
I
second
don't
law of
play your cherry pick
thermodynamics.
games.
You are a
I don't
clown.
play your I don't play your cherry picking games.
Come on, what's Gibbs free energy, son? Since you're an expert on the second law.
Hey guys, this funny Christians making us flat earthers look bad. So we need to
Yeah, us
about
flat
that, guys.
earthers. You're a flat earther?
Yeah, flat earth means Americana, non-NPC.
You're a flat. No, you said us flat earthers. Are you a flat earther now, Timmy?
Yeah, yep. If you watch my latest, my first video on Tim Osmond channel, yeah, I'd say that I'm a flat earth proponent now. Yep.
Yeah, right. Okay, what's your evidences for a flat earth?
Oh, there's none, dude. Come on, man. I got so much evidence for the
There we
sphere.
go,
But hey,
clown show.
I like where you guys' minds are at, okay?
Yeah, you do. Here we go with the incoherent color commentary from the peanut gallery, right? You got nothing, Timmy, except for your celestial points and your stars spinning in opposite directions. Of course,
No, actually,
opposite
obviously,
isn't
you
a
don't
freaking
watch
direction.
my work. I actually did observations with GPS, 2 different GPS over the Bonneville Salt Flats. I've been to the Antelope Island many, many times doing observations.
Wow,
so
that's
really what we see
astonishing.
out of
What
your
an
channel
achievement.
is just
Hold on.
rhetoric. It's
Hold
funny
on, John.
Christian rhetoric and never any
Okay.
observations.
So what have you done? I'd love to hear about it.
What have I done? You've
Yeah,
seen some of the stuff I've done.
I watched a little bit of your live stream that you did with what's the guy's name? The guy with the calculator.
Jesse Kozlowski.
Bislin.
I want to. I
Oh,
want
my
to know
bad.
if quantum thinks the body is qualifies as delta G.
Hold on a second. We're just with Timmy. You can ask me that later.
Oh,
Timmy,
all right.
what's your scientific
no, John.
evidence?
No. Sorry to cut you off. Timmy's gone out and done stuff, and I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we actually, with all these data points that we have thousands of them, and really you can just use 3 to actually find the radius of the Earth. We've actually calculated the radius of the Earth to 0.5% accuracy using Cartesian coordinates X, Y, Z from GPS.
Okay.
GPS is real. It's actually very, very accurate and is used worldwide in many applications.
Do you have scientific evidence?
No, this is definitely
Scientific evidence.
So this is.
Yes.
Do you?
So just tell us what you've done. So you've gone to geodetic surveying points, and what have you done from there?
Well, we did the survey points just kind of really because he's a surveyor. He's into that kind of stuff. But really, the big thing is having 2 different $20,000 GPS units on the truck, going from mile marker 47 all the way to Nevada, which is the it's the Bonneville Salt Flats. It's very, very level to the Earth. So when you look over it, it looks very flat. But when you take a drone, you do camera work, you do the GPS, it all matches up to a sphere.
Well, that's settled.
But what did you do? What did you actually do?
It's settled for me, Nathan, and really, I don't care to actually change anyone's minds here. I mean, it's okay. I'm a flat earther, like I said. We can believe what we want, guys, because we are Americana.
You're a troll, dude. You're not an earther.
I'd like to know what you actually did, though. What did you actually do?
Been on my channel before, Nathan. He's just hot air, bro. He has nothing. Just
No, he's not.
Except I have hundreds of gigabytes full of.
Okay, I'll level with you.
So Nathan goes out to Pontchartrain, doesn't actually even look at where Soundly's looking. He's looking at the side,
don't take
zooming
the bait,
into
Tim.
the bridge. He's
Don't take the
also
bait.
he stops the live stream as the boat's starting to go over the horizon. So it's quite interesting what
Sure.
Nathan produces.
Before you two get into it, I don't mind if you do, but I know you've gone out and done stuff, and I'm trying to lead you to telling us what you've done, Tim.
Well, we brought an auto level and the GPS units out to Antelope Island. So I already explained, I don't know why you're continuing to ask me this, but I already explained the Bonneville Salt Flats part.
Timmy, who was
So
we?
I brought an auto level, my D3200, many different lenses, tons of
Who's
stuff,
we,
tons of
Timmy?
equipment out there
Who's your
to
friend
Antelope Island, did
Okay,
observations.
so you took an auto level, and what did you do with it?
We went to different points and basically leveled the auto level, and you can look through the scope and see mountains that are 85 miles away that you're basically up into the white caps of the mountains when you're level, even though you're about a couple 100 feet up only.
Timmy, you said we. Who's the other person?
I'm surprised that you don't know that.
He did,
No, I don't.
He did say he answered on this
40 year
stream.
surveyor, dude.
He did answer
And
for the
he's-
panel.
He's the surveyor? Okay.
Jesse Kozlowski, right?
No further questions.
Yep.
Okay, so
Jesse Kozlowski, I hammered him about 3 years ago and is on his own channel. It was a friggin' train wreck.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sure you can also tell,
is this
like you do about
scientific
science,
evidence?
tell
Timmy,
people about
is this
science. You can probably
scientific
tell a
evidence?
40-year professional surveyor about surveying
Is
too,
this
right?
scientific evidence?
It's not, but I'd still like to know what he's done. So he's taken
He's
an
the
auto level.
surveyor.
He's taken an auto level. That's what I've got so far, and I don't know what he's measured with it.
Okay, so you're being pedantic, obviously, Nate. So
No, I'm
just
leading
gonna run
you
you.
so that you tell the audience.
He really wants to know, by the way. Just walk him through it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I already did. I already told you about the Bonneville, what we did out at the Bonneville, and then I also said how much equipment that we've done there. Do you want the actual data? Do you want what do you want?
The
I've already
method.
How much
told you what we
equipment
did.
you've done
What
there?
did you
What
do
does that mean?
with the equipment?
I already told you that. I already
How
told
did
you. So I'm not going to answer again.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm totally in the dark, and either I'm deaf or you haven't explained it.
Everyone's in the dark.
Yeah, he
Anybody
has a
else
bunch of
understand
equipment
what he's done?
there.
Anybody else dilute down his methodology so I understand what Tim's done? Anybody?
He has
Yes.
a lot
No
of
idea what he's done.
id stuff.
Yes,
I
there's
have
a bunch
no
of
idea.
equipment that he's done there.
Yeah, that's what I got. There's a bunch of equipment that you've done there, auto level, and all the equipment, and you've done at the Bonneville Salt Flats. What you said was, I've done at the. That was the term you used. I've done at the Bonneville Salt Flats. Done what at the Bonneville Salt Flats?
Wait, He's done
So I'm
it.
surprised that you're obviously being pedantic, but anyway, like I said, we had a truck. We put the two $20,000 GPS units on it, one at a time. We did 2 routes.
20,000.
So these are actually getting,
no,
okay.
don't
Go
do
ahead
this,
and interrupt
please.
me because he
God.
wants to hear me, but then we have interruptions. So anyway, these get XYZ raw ECEF Earth-centered Earth fixed coordinates. And so when you actually map those out, you start to see that there is a curve. Not only that, it actually does match with the spherical Earth. I can pull up Walter Bisland's model, but I'm not really sure what you guys are getting at. We brought out the auto level, we brought out cameras, we brought out drones, all kinds of shit out to Antelope Island and did observations with it. So, I mean, really,
that's really nice.
Pretty much everybody on this channel has never come close to doing anything like that.
Well, we really appreciate all your efforts and all your great
Well,
footage.
is that the white paper version? That was really detailed.
That was good. That was good. I'm a globe head.
I'm not here to convince mostly you, Nathan, because you don't learn from your mistakes. You continue to make them.
Yeah,
and basically
there
you
we
are
go with the
Nathan Oakley
philosophy.
carrots.
We don't need ad homs. Tell us what
Which
you did.
is interesting.
You-
Oh,
with
that's an
your
ad hom?
equipment
Please,
done there.
please tell me how that's an ad hom.
An ad hom fallacy.
How is that an ad hom?
I don't understand
Well,
what's going
you're
on.
attacking his person, not the argument.
Well, let's just get clear. He's talking
Really?
to the other Nathan on the
Okay.
panel.
Yeah, you
saying
are.
He's just so that it's clear. The other Nathan on the panel is being accused of parroting me by Tim. I don't really understand. I don't know Nathan Thompson, so
He's saying affirming the consequence instead of affirming the consequent. He's basically using all the fallacies that you got from me and you got from John Stunja here. And so he's implemented those, but he does it incorrectly. So he makes himself look like an ass because he doesn't understand philosophy, logic, reasoning, anything like that.
John
Or he just
Stunja,
says the word
not
wrong.
Stunja,
Is that
it's
correct?
Stunja.
He just
Get it
says the
right.
word
He doesn't
slightly wrong, and
understand what
suddenly
he's
he doesn't
talking about
understand any of
because
it.
he just listens to this. and
That's a
repeats
really
it.
great argument.
Owen,
man.
he's not arguing with you. He's talking to the other Nathan on the panel, and this is my way of leading him into that argument with the other guy, because it might be that when he's talking about affirming the consequent, presumably, I don't know, as a vague idea, it could be something like him assuming we've got hemispheres when he talks about the stars. So, in other words, if the example's valid, who cares if he says consequence rather than consequent? It makes no odds if the example's sound, but hopefully Nathan Thompson will tell us that.
Exactly my point.
I'm here.
Totally agreed.
Yeah, Nathan, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm going not Oakley, but Thompson. And basically what we have here is we had Quantum Racer come in and myself inject a lot of basically things into Nathan's mind, Oakley's mind. He then started pairing it for years now. And so Nathan is such a fundy fan of this show that he just parrots Nathan.
It's his show!
Talking to a different Nathan. Hold on, Owen, he's talking to a different Nathan.
Yes, Thompson. Yep.
Sorry.
You cat's got your tongue.
What's your point?
Because I call you out on your lie.
Thompson, let's have a debate today. Let's have a debate where you bring evidence for a flat Earth and I bring evidence for a sphere Earth. Let's see where that goes, bud.
All right. Proof the Earth is rotating. Ready? Go.
We actually had this conversation just 2 days ago, and I actually have a video going through this. So I can go through it again about the fiber optic gyro and the results therein. Also, retrograde motion of planets.
Please,
the
go
two
ahead.
celestial points. There's an axis to the Earth. Yeah.
Please go ahead. No, fiber optic gyro. Let's stick with one claim at a time. Please go ahead.
Okay, so the data that I gathered from Bob and Seventh Day True Seeker and all the people that were involved actually shows that they were trying to figure out how to kind of pitch the 15 degrees rotation away. And so they actually have all the data there on their XYZ Cartesian coordinates that you can actually put in with the sign of his latitude and get 15 degrees per hour. Now, this kind of begs the question and calls into question things like the sun not changing in angular speed throughout the day and actually maintaining that 15 degrees per hour.
Stop. One claim at a time. You said the Earth was spinning.
I'm
Your proof was the fiber optic
I don't
gyro.
go by your rules, John.
Right?
You're a nobody. You're a creationist scientist.
You're a fiber optic gyro.
Come on,
You're
Tim,
a
you asked
fundy
for this.
materialist.
John, Tim, you asked for this, so I agree. One claim at a time. Fine.
Fiber optic gyro. Is that scientific evidence?
Did I claim it was?
You said fiber optic gyro. You said you had evidence that it was rotating. Now, is the fiber optic gyro
Okay, so did I
scientific
say
evidence?
scientific evidence, John?
Well, no, but you cited. You cited.
No, hey, I asked John, Nathan. You don't have to come in for him.
No,
but
you cited. Go ahead, tell him, Nathan.
Yeah, you cited a source, which was Bob from Globebusters, right?
No, it's actually a collection of messages from many people.
Well,
I'm sorry, you said Bob from Globebusters, sir.
You did specifically name somebody, though, didn't you, Tim?
Yes, Bob is all throughout that, and Seventh Day True Seeker.
Excellent.
And,
so we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Excellent. That source claims it's science, Tim. Did you realise that?
I don't care.
Oh, well, your source that you're citing says it's science, my friend.
So,
And-
Nathan, please, my screen is sharing. Are we ready?
So anyway, this
no.
could be
But we will
fit
be.
into a scientific method if we really needed to or wanted to.
Yeah, we need
but
to.
Really, the onus is on you guys to actually refute.
No, the onus
that
is on
data.
you. You
You're
made a claim.
claiming this,
We're
Tim.
doing scientific evidence.
This is your claim.
Yeah.
Well, what's
my
funny is
screen
you guys
sharing?
demand scientific evidence from Globers, but have absolutely none for flat Earth. You guys don't even devise.
Well,
any
we
kind of
haven't made
scientific
any claims
method
that
for
we
flat
have
Earth.
scientific
Cited
evidence.
You
You
guys
have.
continue to
source.
talk about the
Sorry,
scientific
Tim.
method, but
This is
never
your
want to
claim.
prove it.
It's your
Never.
claim. Your source claims it's science.
Your claims the Earth is flat, and you
Yeah,
have like
well, we're
800
talking
shows
about the
saying
fiber
that.
optic gyro. You've claimed a source. You've told us what the source is. They say it's science. Let's test it. Let's see how sciencey it is.
I don't care. Ask them for the scientific method. They obviously.
Your
You made the
claim.
claim.
Your claim. Right.
was
The
your
argument
claim,
isn't
Tim.
the citation. You're making the argument, Tim. The citation's not the argument. That's you, my friend.
And you're trying to basically make me say that I said that it was a scientific evidence. So then
Your
we're gonna get
source that
into,
you
let's
cited
put it in
for your
scientific method.
argument
This is a
says
game
it's
you guys play.
science. You cited it. Use a different source for the fiber optic gyro next time, because this one says it's science.
How about a gyro compass? You can look up a gyro compass, and
Oh,
it's actually
God,
a
here we
mechanical
go.
gyro,
Obfuscation.
and it does have a 15-degree deviation.
Evil
as well.
obfuscation. You're not
So-
supporting your claim, Tim.
So we
What do you
relinquishing the
want?
fiber optic.
How am I
then.
to support it? Do you want me to get a fiber optic gyro and do a live stream with it, John?
What for?
Or
No,
what
we
do
want you to go through the scientific method right here.
You want me to show their data, and then you can
No,
find out how that
scientific
works
method.
on your flat Earth conception, or what do you want me to do?
Scientific method. This is what I want. Is my screen sharing?
Yes.
All right, this is what we want. Natural phenomena observed, please, with your fiber optic gyro.
I'm not going to play this game with you. I already told you that.
Oh, they got the old cue card out. They give it because everyone says this now. We're not going to play this. My game. My game is the
Yeah,
scientific
because
method.
you're
It's
not you're
mine.
not setting up anything scientific for your
It's
claims,
not
dude.
mine. I'm not making a claim. You are.
You're allowed to talk about the quantum eraser experiment
I will.
and say
I
that
will
the Cavendish
Saturday.
is fake or whatever, but
I will
the quantum
Saturday.
eraser experiment doesn't happen
I
in
will
nature. It's
Saturday,
made
but
by
we're not
man.
on that. Quit trying to obfuscate the point. Natural
No,
phenomena
I'm just
observed
saying
with
that
your
you
phenom-
don't
with your
you're going to hold
fiber
me to a
optic
set of
gyro,
standards,
please.
and I'm not gonna play along because you're
Fiber
not you're
optic
not held to
gyro
any
claim.
standard.
You claimed it.
We're
Let's
not
go,
held to
Timmy.
any standard, John.
Let's
here,
go, Timmy. This
okay?
is the standard scientific method. You
I'm not
claimed
playing
it.
your
Let's go.
game. Why do
Yes,
you
you
continue to
did.
think I'm going to jump through your hoops, bro? Why
It's
do
not
you
a
think
hoop.
that?
It's a scientific method.
What's wrong with you?
It's not a basketball
why are
hoop.
you
It's a
here?
scientific method.
Oh, so this show is about jumping through John Stunge's hoops,
No,
religious
it's not.
man?
It's Stunya. Get it right. Stunya. Right? And this is not mine. This is the scientific method.
Oh,
You claimed
Stunja. It was
scientific evidence from Bob with his
STUNJA,
fiber optic
Stunja.
gyro. Stop over talking me and support your claim. Or should we just categorize you as your average village idiot with baseless assertions with every other breath?
Tim, I agree with you on this one.
You would.
Well, it's nobody wants to jump through his hoops. This
Why do
isn't
you
what
agree
Nathan's
with him?
show was
Let's
originally
move on
about.
over to you. What's your
Unfortunately, it's
rationale for
changed into
agreeing with
something
him?
else.
Well, hold on. No. Before we go on to what's the rationale for agreement in that regard, what's the standard of evidence that you're providing then in this fiber optic gyro, Tim? If it's not scientific evidence, what is it?
It's evidence.
What kind of evidence?
Evidence.
Evidence of what?
Evidence of the Earth spinning.
But no, it's not.
Oh. So it's just make believe. It's just a story.
Hold on, Owen. It's
Sure.
not evidence that
Just
the
like
Earth
your
spins,
looping
Tim.
model, just like
Tim.
your Pac-Man son,
Tim.
bro.
No, that's
Tim.
conceptual.
I knew it.
Conceptual,
Arwen,
okay.
thank you so much.
Hold on, Arwen. He's going to try to bait you, Arwen. Let's
Yeah, of
get
course.
Timmy. to
This is
support his
tactic,
claim.
Arwin. Just drop a little bait so we can have a little cross argument with you, rather than listen to the point about why the fiber optic gyroscope does not prove the Earth spins.
What?
Yeah, right on. So, the fiber optic gyroscope is alleged to prove that the Earth spins. In order for that to be the case, it would be a demonstration of 2 reference frames. Would you agree with that, Timmy?
Here we go with Coriolis. You guys are reading semantical definitions out. What a joke, man.
Right, Timmy. So, does it prove it with 2 reference frames, or do you not understand how this proves the Earth spins, my friend?
By the way, I got Nathan Thompson to leave.
That'd be a non-answer. So, I'll ask it a third time for Timmy, who's about to get raped again. Let's be honest. So, Timmy, let's ask it a third time. Does this proof of Earth spin require 2 reference frames? Yes or no?
He went on mute. What I was agreeing with Tim was not on his thing about the globe, but the fact that John is always ready to hold somebody to task with the scientific method. But I'd like to see him do that with his observed phenomena as far as this quantum eraser thing.
We will on Saturday.
I'd like to see you write that up.
We will. Tune in Saturday. Ballbusters, number 7, double slit, and delayed choice quantum eraser. Be here or be sphere. Anyway,
yeah. So
Tim,
you weren't agreeing with Timmy, right? Is that what you're saying? You said you agreed with Timmy, but you're not agreeing with Timmy.
Listen, I just explained it to you. I agreed with Timmy only on this one point. You're always ready to hold somebody to task and get your little graph out with the scientific method. But when it comes to you doing it, all of a sudden you're not ready to do it. You want to wait until Saturday. You want to wait till Ball Busters. Why don't you do it now?
I've already done it hundreds of times.
Let me clear that up. Right. John has done that demonstration, I think, to my knowledge, 3 times. Once on Cathexis's channel, twice on my channel in different formats. He's about to do it for the 3rd time on my channel. He has absolutely done it before. He's about to do it again with an invitation to the public to challenge him this time, as opposed to it being a straight presentation.
To be on mute.
Right, and that's great. But just real quick, since we're all here, what's the observed phenomena? Just state it.
Sorry, Slick, you're going to completely hijack this point. So Tim's come with...
No, that's all right. I withdraw the question.
It's literally... We've got to the point where Tim's come on, asserted he's got proof the Earth spins. A fibre optic gyroscope. His source says it's science.
Evidence.
So we've asked him to provide the scientific validity because his source says it's science. Now, I've said, okay, if it's not science, then how does it prove the Earth spins? My question being, does it require 2 reference frames? And I haven't got an answer.
No, Nathan, I agree with you. I'm not agreeing with Tim on that. That's not what I'm agreeing with Tim on.
It's not an agree or disagree. It's a question. It's
No.
a question. Does it need 2 reference frames or not? And I don't know. Tim hasn't told me how this marvellous proof of Earth's spin works. I'm asking. Maybe it needs 2 reference frames. Maybe Slick needs to answer for him. Maybe he's afraid of Tim's answer.
The thing is, I'm not.
Yeah, maybe you're afraid of Tim's answer, Slick. Hint, hint. Shut the fuck up.
I think Osher said that I removed Nathan Thompson. You can look at the back chat, and actually, it looks like Arwen's been removing people. So just FYI.
Oh God, just FYI.
Does this proof of Earth spin require 2 reference frames, Tim?
Oh, hey guys, I already told you I'm not going to jump through your hoops.
We want to know how it proves Earth spins.
No, I'm good.
Oh, right. So I'll just make a declaration. Tim knows it doesn't prove Earth spins. He knows. He's just a liar. He's asserted it proves Earth spins and just expects you to believe him.
Yeah, but with his equipment done. That's all he's got. His equipment done.
Well, the point still is you guys just basically have rhetoric and hot air and continue to, and actually don't go
that's
into
what you have.
stuff. Now, my channel
we
actually
don't want to
I
listen
do
to your
stuff,
color
so
commentary.
That's where
because everyone in
I'm
the
more
audience
elite
just
over
listened to
people
you
like John.
and watched you bash
He
yourself.
just keeps sober talking
in front of
to me
him.
anyway,
You have
so
nothing.
That's why I'm not talking to him.
Yeah,
Later,
you're
guys.
a horse's ass.
Oh, he's gone.
Your epistemology
Yeah, I
is
would
from
drop
Wiki.
2 at the point that we point out that your proof requires 2 reference frames. That would be a functional Earth-based Coriolis effect. Something that would mean plane travel had very drastically different effects. Hey, Tim? But you don't want to concede that. You just want to come and assert your, what's the word? That's the one. Fundamentalist belief in this garbage. Earth doesn't spin, Tim. And if your fibre optic gyroscope is to be asserted that it proves Earth spins, it absolutely requires 2 reference frames. Pity the planes don't demonstrate those 2 reference frames. We only have 1. Singular. According to the dickhead globeheads that think that the Earth and atmosphere travel together. Yeah, no Coriolis effect. No 2 separate reference frames. No proof of spinning Earth from a fibre optic gyroscope, Timmy. But bye-bye. I'm sure you'll play your victim card really nicely.
Timmy already knows it. We went over this 3 years ago on Gem Panda's show with me, Cathexis, on the show where I explained this to him, the same argument that we have, Nathan, by the way. And Timmy was laughing at Gem for not understanding it. Timmy knows it. He knows it.
These people are merchants of nonsense.
Yeah. Hey, one quick one before you finish up, Nathan. I was doing something last night. Do you want to go? Because Timmy did mention something. He was talking about Somley's Lake Pontchartrain, you know, the Causeway Bridge. Right?
Sure.
He brought that up. Can you see my screen right here?
No, but I'll bring it up for the audience. You've got your Google Earth, yeah?
Yeah, I was just messing around last night because I heard the Lake Pontchartrain argument, and of course I have a whole spill on that argument that's ridiculous anyway. But I thought I'd just screw around on Google Earth, right?
Okay.
Let's take a look here. So this is the causeway. Is this the bridge? Soundley's Bridge? This thing right here. Let me get closer. Is this the bridge? Let's see. There's cars on it and stuff, right? Is this the one he's talking about?
One of his observations, yes.
Right. So he said that there was a curve, right? You could observe the curve. Is that what he said?
Claiming you can detail the effects of atmospheric conditions and perspective as Earth curve, yes.
No, he said it was curving. So what I did, I said, okay, boy, if it's curving from one side to the other, then that means the elevation from one side to the other would be different, much different, correct?
Absolutely.
There would be drop, correct?
Yeah, that's what they claim. It's physically curving.
Okay, let's go over here. This is the south side of the bridge, right? Can everyone see my little elevation thing down there? Maybe not, it's too small, right?
It might not be on page, actually. Just rearrange the... no, it doesn't show up on the screen share. Unless it's when you hover your mouse. Does it show up when you move your mouse over? No.
Yeah, it's over here.
Yeah, it doesn't show.
Well, let me just say this, and everyone can do this. I'm putting the little hand over the base, you know, the ground where the bridge arrives, right here. It says 5 feet over here. 4 feet, 5 feet, somewhere like that, right? So it's 5 feet. So guess what I'm going to do? Did anyone guess? Anyone guessing? Is anybody out there?
No, everyone's silent.
I'm going to put,
I
and
just
this
don't
is
care
where
about
the
your
bridge
stuff.
starts on the north side, right? I'm going to put my little hand over here. Guess what the elevation is right here on the shore? Do you want me to get down there a little further? So basically, this is the shore on the other side. Guess what this elevation is?
4 feet, 5 feet.
3 feet. So let me ask you a question, tickle me soundly. How in the world can this bridge be curving and have the same elevation on both sides? How can that happen? How can this side be 3 feet elevation and this side be 4 feet elevation, basically the same? How can that be? How can that be? Anyone on the panel?
Well, it's because the Earth is obviously and unobservably flat, John.
Thank you. No further questions.
I'm going to round out this section of the live show unless anyone on the panel's got anything to add. There will be an after show. No? Fair enough. With that, I will say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of today's debating panel, if I could get my tongue around it, for making today's debate possible. Also a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of you in today's live audience for tuning in, smashing the super chat, liking, sharing, subscribing if you've not done so already. If you'd like to keep yourself occupied after this live debate is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Just click a few buttons. There we go. If you are watching on Nathan Oakley channel, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Once again, a massive thank you to all of you in the audience. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
As far as that gyro thing, that was not an experiment, but that was not my point. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the tactics that John uses, that when he holds other people to task, he doesn't hold himself to those same
Yes, I do.
standards. That's
Yes,
my
I
point.
do. So what is your evidence for that claim?
Well, because I would like to know what your observed phenomena is on this quantum eraser thing, just
And
in
I
your
told
own
you-
words. You don't have to
I
wait till
told you-
tomorrow.
And I told you I've already done this many times, right? The
Right.
video that we're going to play on Saturday is an old video. So I've already done this 3 times on Nathan's show previously, once on Cathexis and many times on other different forums. So if you want to go back and watch that video, I outlined the steps of the scientific method with the delayed choice quantum eraser. Thank you.
Right, but I just asked you a simple question. What's the observed
And I just
phenomenon?
told you.
Okay, I rest my case.
Yeah, you rest your case. You have no case. You don't know what the second law of thermodynamics is. You don't know what delta G is. You don't know what Gibbs free energy is.
Here we
In
go
fact,
cherry picking
I don't
again.
even think you believe that you know anything.
Here we go cherry picking again. You think that just
Cherry
because
picking.
you
You don't know what
cherry pick
cherry
a few,
picking is.
Listen, John, you're just cherry picking a few points
Chicken
that
bit,
you
what's
think
cherry
that you're
picking?
aware of, and you're throwing them
What
at
is
other
cherry
people like
picking?
I'm supposed to automatically have an encyclopedia
cherry
on
picking?
my brain to be ready
What
for your
is
cherry picked
cherry-picking?
points. Listen,
You're
John,
using terms
nobody's
that you don't
playing
know
that
what they
game
mean.
with you. You're just playing
You
a
don't
game and
know what
nobody's
they
playing
mean,
it. You're
Slick.
playing it by
You
yourself.
are a clown. You got a vocabulary from Wiki, right? You're just parroting terms. You don't know what they mean. So what is cherry picking? Right.
What
Define
you're
cherry
doing
picking.
is cherry picking. What you do, John, I just explained it to you. What you do is you take your, I'm defining it if you'll listen.
Okay.
What
Go
you're
ahead.
doing is cherry picking, and I'm giving you an example of the cherry picking. You
Okay,
pick
go
up
ahead.
these things that you think that you know, and then you propose those things to other people like they got some type of encyclopedia in the brain just ready for anything that you pick out.
That's not
And if
cherry
they can't
picking.
answer
You have to
it, you
define
think
it.
that they don't know what they're talking about, but you've already
No, that's not
pre-prepared
cherry picking,
yourself.
son.
And yeah, you know it, whatever.
That's not cherry picking, son. You didn't define it yet.
Yes, I
That's
did
not
define it.
cherry
You just did.
No,
you
you
just
didn't. What's
didn't
the
understand.
definition,
Yes, I
please?
did. I did
Okay, what
define
is
it.
it?
You didn't understand it. So you think
What is
that
it?
you're in charge. Listen, you think that you're
What
in
is it?
charge of everything. You think that
What
you're in
is
charge of
cherry
all
picking, sir?
information. You think that if I give a definition of cherry picking, you get to overrule it, whether it's correct or
No,
not.
I'm
You
gonna
don't
show
get
you how
to
you
do
don't
that
know what it
because
is.
you are not
You have
any
yet
type
to
of
figure it out.
authority. The authority that you think you have, you don't
have
have
yet to
any.
define
None.
the term
Zero.
that you're charging me with. Define
Zero,
it.
you have
Don't give an
no
example. Define
authority
it first,
whatsoever.
then
Now
give an
I'm done talking to you.
Well, you were done an hour and a half ago when you didn't know what the second law of thermodynamics was. And you don't know what cherry picking is. Thank you. No further questions.
Hey, put those earphones on if you're going to be here.
So anyone else want a shot at the title?
What happened to Arwin?
This was a fun one today, hey guys.
Yeah, extra long.
Yeah. Yeah. It exposed a lot of pretender clowns. I think it was
Yeah,
very
it's just-
productive.
All it is John making all these declarations, like he's talking about what he pummeled this and he did that and he destroyed. It's just him making declarations, and he uses this loud voice and he tells everybody to shut up and like they're pretender clowns. Everybody's hip to that. Now listen, John, the jig is up. Your game is over. It's over for you. You might as well pack it in.
You don't know what
You might as
cherry-picking
well
is.
pack it in.
You don't know what the
It's
second law of
over.
thermodynamics is. You don't
It's
know what
over
Gibbs
for
free
you,
energy
John. You're
is.
cherry picking
You
again.
are a
You're cherry
pretender clown.
picking. You're cherry picking.
Cherry picking. He doesn't even know what it is. He has yet to define it. So you're a bank robber.
What I can define is that it's over for you, John. Your days are numbered.
yeah,
You
I'm
probably
going
got
down.
1 or 2 left before we'll never hear from you again.
Sure. I'm going down. My days are numbered. Yeah, I seen that one. Well, isn't everyone's days
Oh, you've
numbered?
gone down. You've gone down. You just stick around.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah, it's that thing that you call, what does they call that? Whistling
Baseless
past the graveyard?
assertions.
That's what you're doing now. You're just whistling past the
Baseless
graveyard.
assertions. Hey, don't use that's copyrighted. That's mine. You go get your own phrases, pretender clown.
Hey, if you can hijack science for creationism, I
I
can
didn't
hijack your
hijack
nonsense.
science. Science is the scientific method. I didn't hijack it.
It's all over.
So next claim. And
You
please
might as well
provide
stick a,
support
hey
or you're a
John, you might
village
as well
idiot.
stick a fork in
Well, let
yourself,
me ask
John.
you a
You're
question.
done.
If somebody makes a whole bunch of baseless claims and they don't support them, what's the difference between them and an average village idiot?
You're the
Answer,
difference. You're
none.
the village
Because
idiot.
you've provided a boatload of baseless assertions without supporting them. So
That's what you've done. That's what you've done.
You are a village idiot.
No, that's what you've done. You made a whole
that's
bunch
what
of
I've done.
baseless
Really?
assertions,
How?
and you can't back up any of them. You
Which
think
one?
that your mouth is going to
one?
get you by, but it isn't.
Which one?
Your big
Which
mouth is not
baseless
going to
assertion?
help you.
Which baseless assertion? Here you go again. Which baseless assertion did I say and not support?
All your assertions are baseless. You just talk
Oh,
like
now
I
it's
said. You
all
just
of
got
them,
this.
the sweeping,
Oh, there you go again.
generalized,
See, you're
baseless
scared, John.
assertion
You can't even
now.
listen to it.
So
You can't even
fallacy
listen
on top of
without
fallacy
interrupting because
selection.
you're afraid. This is what
Generalized
afraid.
baseless assertion
This is what
fallacy
afraid
again.
people do. When somebody starts to talk,
hand
they
wave
overtalk them so
dismissal.
that they
That's
can
what they
derail the
do.
conversation.
They just have
That's what
Waltard
scared
Tourette's.
people do.
They keep
You
on
are
saying
afraid.
a whole
It's
bunch of nothing.
over.
You
Flick,
have
Stick a
Afraid or
fork in
fraud?
yourself.
for your claim.
Flick,
He's afraid or a fraud?
Yeah. Yes, sir. No support
He's
for your assertion.
he's afraid and he's a fraud.
Oh God, here we go. Yeah, I'm quivering in my boots. What's the next baseless assertion? Come on, I know you got a whole vocabulary full.
You stick a fork in yourself. That's another
Yeah,
assertion. You
right.
can use that
Thanks.
one too.
That's a great playground. Good argument. You Harvard or Stanford law?
All right,
Other
I'm going to take off.
generalized
Nice talking
baseless-
to you guys. You guys take it easy. Thank you.
Thanks, Lick.
Yeah, no further questions.
I think there's a sniper in here. I'm not sure.
Probably.
Anybody else?
This Japanese
Oops.
writing guy, the sniper. Hello, Japanese writing guy. Sniping the whole panel.
Is he? Hey, Japanese sniping guy, you can't get me.
I'm going to kick him out. Bye-bye, Japanese writing guy.
Is do we have everyone here on the panel still?
I think so. There's probably just a sniper in the back chat, so we'll have a slightly disjointed hangout for the after show, but that's cool by me. Sorry if you're in the hangout getting sniped.
Yeah, he's removing people for sure. He removed a lot of people that are already gone.
Hey, let's talk about something interesting now.
I thought that was a great show. Why was that? Did that bore you?
Oh, it's just when people go back and forth with the personal attacks. It's tedious.
I agree.
Well, that's all they had was baseless assertions and arguments, and they're acting like they're intellectuals. They have nothing. There's nothing there. Just like Timmy.
What? I joined late. I was surprised the show was so long. What was Slick's point of contention?
Hardly hear you,
Didn't
Chris.
have a point.
Personal.
Cranked you right up now, Chris.
He didn't have anything. I mean, people were making baseless assertions without supporting them, at all. It wasn't even incoherent. There was no support.
Would something trigger him, or?
Yeah, well, we brought up the fact that to have something eternal, like the Earth is eternal, that's a laws of thermodynamic violation. And he said, "Nuh-uh," along with a couple other people on the panel. But then after it was explained to him, the interplay between the first law and the second law, there's no way out, right? And so what they have left is Baltard Tourette's. They start rumpusing the hangout, and ad hom after ad hom, baseless assertion fallacy. You know the routine.
Hey, John.
Right?
Who brought up the word eternal, them or you?
They did.
Are you sure? Because all as I ever heard was infinite or forever.
Yeah,
they didn't say infinite. It always existed, so that's eternal.
Hey, John.
Right. They didn't use the word eternal, did they?
Oh my God! They said
John Snow
always
Sniper?
existed.
Is Jon Snow
What does
a
that
sniper?
mean? Always existed. Eternal.
Well,
Thank you.
Hey, we understand that, okay? That's fine. The point is, they don't seem to understand it, the difference between infinite and eternal.
Oh, they got it. And there's no such thing as infinite, either in mathematics or reality.
Yeah, there was a point that the one guy made. He argued, after I argued the one guy to the consciousness point, the other guy was asserting that it always was here. And his negation to creation, the negation to the creation argument was the creator violates the second law of thermodynamics. But in the same example, he was saying, well, we don't know if the sun is applicable to the second law of thermodynamics.
Right.
So he was using the thermodynamics to disprove God.
The creator violates the first law because matter can't be
No, he
created
does.
nor destroyed. That's what I said.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, but
That's the
isn't
law
energy
of
part
thermodynamics,
of that
and it
as
holds
well?
no sway over the second ontological primitive, the lawgiver. So you keep on repeating the same argument, but you can't get it through your thick skull that you're out of
Parrot,
category.
I know what you say. I do.
Yeah, you're out of category. I keep on going over the same real estate over and over again. I'm tired of paying for this real estate.
You don't have to understand it. People are understanding what I'm
Understand
saying.
it?
You don't have
You
to
don't even
understand
know
it.
what the second law is. Yeah, this is.
I'm
this
not
is
doing this for
ridiculous.
you. And the difference between you and me is that you keep saying
There-
you're
yeah.
tired of doing this.
The difference
I am
between
very
me and
happy
you
doing
is
this. I love
coherence
it.
versus incoherence.
And people are
And
getting
I
it.
don't get my epistemology from Wiki. Those are the main differences.
You're tiring out. You said it yourself. That's okay. Get tired.
Tiring
Go
out.
get some rest.
Now I'm tired of going over the same real estate with friggin'
Yeah,
pretender
I'm not.
crayon munchers like
I'm
you
not. I
to
love
get
it.
their epistemology from Wiki. I keep saying it over and over again, but it's not getting through to you. And what are you going to say? Well, the creator violates the second law of thermodynamics. You're just going to parrot
first
that
not
nonsense
the second.
after I
If you
crush
were
it.
listening, you'd say the first law.
Same thing
I didn't
over
say
and
the
over
second
again.
law.
So
Okay. To the guy claiming the first law violates it, are you saying that the first law only describes matter always existing or energy always existing?
Energy.
Energy and matter can't be created or destroyed?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
the laws.
so you put, from what I remember, I don't know if this was you or the other guy, you said we can't apply these to the sun because we only is on a local level. Is that what you said?
That's right.
Okay, so if those laws supposedly violate a creator, yet you can't apply them to the sun, how can you apply them to the creator?
Well, I'm saying that you can't apply it to the sun because we don't know what it is. My point
Yeah,
is
don't know what the
that
creator
we
is.
shouldn't
How can you
stand.
apply it to the creator?
Okay.
Your argument is self-defeating and incoherent.
Okay, yeah, whatever. You guys are not going to get it. This is not for you.
He
I'm
got
doing this
yeah.
for people.
I don't have to get it. Your argument is incoherent. It's ungettable.
He got you there. Sorry.
No, he did not get me.
Yeah, we got
As
you
it
about 30
stands,
times.
is self-defeated.
Yeah, in front of over 300 people for the past 2 hours.
Hey, you just
The
don't get
only
it.
thing you can
Whatever.
do from this point on is deny the creator on a faith-based assertion that you deny him. That's it. You have to
Blind
admit
faith.
that.
You just don't need
not,
it.
No, not only blind faith, but faith in the direct contradiction to validated scientific evidence. So that's a whole different category. That's blind, fanatical, religious zealotry.
Now, I also tried to angle that towards the photosynthesis and vitamin D because he was claiming that the sun increases the energy, therefore defeating the necessity of the limitations of thermodynamics, which would technically mean by necessity that the sun is an infinite source of energy. So it's creating new energy constantly. So again, his argument is self-defeating and incoherent.
For some reason,
Cricket.
I never said why flat Earth gets totally triggered when you talk about God or a creator or religion.
No,
It's a personal
it's easy.
It's a personal faith issue, which I just proved.
Yeah, it's easy. He's got a personal bias
Right.
for a creator. He already told the story. So he's got a personal bias against the creator. Yep.
I don't know the story, but you can tell he does have a bias.
Yeah, he told the story about his mother. Can you tell us that story again, Flat Earth?
No.
Okay, so he's got a personal bias based on his personal experience as a child or teenager or adult, right? That's basically what it comes down to.
No, you guys are just fundies, and there's nothing to talk to you about.
You're a fundy too. You're a fundy materialist atheist. Can I ask you a question?
No longer here.
How do you? I'm going to ask it to you. I asked it to Timmy, but he didn't answer. How does ink, paper, and glue molecules author technical instruction manuals and blueprints?
Just naturally happens.
It naturally happens, right? So ink, paper, and glue molecules write books on their own. That's your position, sir.
No, we do that, but we are a part of Earth.
No, we don't do that because my analogy is directly analogous to DNA. The ink, paper, and glue molecules, those are ribose, nucleobases, and activated phosphates. The technical instruction manuals are DNA. Do you see the analogy?
Yeah, they're just natural things that happen on Earth. It's not an instruction. It's nothing like that.
There is instructions.
No, that's where the,
here
the
we go.
block's
Yes,
coming.
all right. Yes, fine. Yes, I don't want to talk to you fundies. There's no point.
We're talking to you.
I'm just trying to help you out. Right, it's an equivalence. So in the same way as the books didn't just create themselves, that's why it's been used as an equivalence.
Hey, I don't know if anyone noticed this, and maybe I'm mistaken, but after my assertion and then someone mentioning his mother, his voice broke, and you could just literally tell that he was sorrowful. So I think any further beating him up today is just pointless.
Yeah, and I'm not beating up because of his mother. This was not a personal attack on him. I'm not personally attacking him or his mother. I'm just saying that he stated the story
you
before.
guys are just gonna use that to attack me, obviously.
We're not.
Theo,
No. Chris asked why there was a bias. No. Chris asked why there was a bias. You've told us. That's it. We're not trying to dig at you.
No, I don't trust John, obviously. Theo, you seem pretty rational, so I would talk to you about it. I don't have a problem talking about it. I don't hide anything, but it's just this is not the place.
But Earth
and Chris Berry just told me I was an asshole through a text, and so it's like this is not the audience for it, obviously.
Well, because you snipe people from Nathan's show and you remove people from his Master B chat.
Yes,
so that's
I
why
sniped you from the Nathan show, and it was an accident. I apologized a million times, and I told you I would trade places with you.
Other times,
I literally told you I would trade places with you.
I'm talking about other times and other people, sir.
Okay, like who?
Well, I don't remember. It's happened a couple
exactly.
times.
Exactly. And I replied by saying, I'm just trying to help the Flat Earth debate. I don't mean to just kick people
But Nathan has said many times to everyone not to kick people, no matter what.
No, that's not true. I say I've got no control over what they do. Which is true.
Well, but I've also heard you say several times to not do that too. So
yeah, I ask politely, but does it make any difference? Let's be honest. I've got no control over this, Chris. I can say it till I'm blue in the face. I gave up a long time ago because I've got zero control over what people do in the back chat. Their motivation, that I can appreciate, and in the case of Flat Earth, I know he's got good motives. I'd never criticise him in that regard.
Yeah, I apologize, Chris. I'm just doing the best that I can. You know, I'm sorry I sniped you.
Well, I'm just saying I've never sniped anyone. You know, I don't kick people out of Master B chats, and I don't get triggered when we talk about religion or atheism or flat or round Earth. So
You're ace, Chris. You're so wonderful.
You're the model flat earther.
I wish I could be more like you.
I've never sniped anyone either. Never.
Me neither. I've
years
kicked people
been
from
out
the
here.
hangout. I've never sniped anybody. I've never been in the back chat.
Right. Me neither. Now on Discord, I flex my muscles a little bit with crayon munchers. I've kicked those on there. But yeah, okay. So next subject. Anybody else? Do we want to round out this subject?
Well, round out that subject, but I hope that some of the people who are on the panel today come on Discord on Saturday.
Oh, they'll be there.
I hope so.
They'll rue the day. They better come packing.
I hope Arwin didn't disappear because I jokingly told him to shut up because it was just there for humorous effect.
Oh, we had a sniper. It was a sniper.
Oh, okay, that's good. If you're listening, Arwin, it was just a joke. I'm sure you realise
that was hilarious, by the way. And no, he didn't take that personally.
I hope not. I'm sure he doesn't. He's not stupid.
I would like to ask Theo something because he kind of told me I'm lost in the back chat, and I was wondering what he meant by that.
Well, you just seen what I talked to this other guy about the sun in his thermodynamic violation circle. That's what we're talking about when I was talking about it. And nothing to do with information. It's just proving.
Hey Theo, you're breaking up, man.
All right, how about now?
Yeah. Nah, still breaking up. Did he drop?
It'll hopefully just be a temporary
thing. I'm changing some things.
Or maybe not.
I don't know if you heard me earlier, though. Whoops.
How
You
about
back?
now? How about now?
That's a little better.
Yeah, it sounds a little better.
Right, what you were asking?
Anyway,
why
Paul
you were
asking me.
Yeah, why you said you were off track in the back chat or something.
Paul made the assertion when I was talking to the other guy about the sunlight was that we somehow use sunlight for vitamin D, or we convert sunlight into vitamin D. And I was saying that's wrong because the sunlight doesn't become vitamin D; it just catalyzes some chemical within your skin.
Yeah, I don't think Paul was saying that though. You're right,
he
but
said
Paul
it.
wasn't saying that.
Yeah, he said that. Those were the words that came out of his mouth. And
I
they were
didn't
also the
hear him
words
say
came-
that the sun turned into vitamin D.
He said, we convert sunlight into vitamin D. Now, he was saying that in reference to the other guy who was saying the plants convert sunlight. And neither of those things occur in reality. They use the sunlight to synthesize, which is chemically alter chemicals that already exist within the plant or within the bloodstream in the case of vitamin D, which results in loss of energy, which results in entropy. So in that example, the sunlight isn't giving extra energy to the. So my use of that was to defeat that guy's argument that the sun is increasing energy.
Increasing entropy. You're breaking up again. I don't think that was Paul. I'm not going to speak for Paul. I heard something different. Is Paul still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, my point was just there had to be like a car engine. Like I can take a match and go throw it in my backyard, and there's a lot of entropy going to occur, and it's going to that same flame and put inside of an engine to make it very useful and functional, and it makes something occur. And there's information that makes those two different. And one thing I noticed about Anon and Slick, and I noticed about Earth Flattener, is they can't account. They'll just say it just exists. That's just the way it is. But that's not a sufficient information or not a sufficient explanation. And there's the only way that you can account for that is through information. There has to be information. Like even how you're describing it, there's a process involved. Like John was saying, you can just shoot sunlight and you can cause all kinds of damage. But there's a system in place there's a mechanism in place. You're getting into the details of that mechanism, which it's been a long time since I took anatomy, so I forgot a lot of that. I was just trying to make a point. There's information that's processing that energy or processing that there's a mechanism in place to process and make that thing happen. That was my point.
That's what I heard. I heard his point was information based. That's what I thought Paul's point was.
Right, but
because
the point
you got to have what he's trying to say is those things must exist first. So the sunlight can convert those. It has to pre-exist because the sun's not sending intelligent messages to chlorophyll, right? Go ahead and build the system to deal with the energy to convert it. There's 17 enzymes involved, right? So where'd you get then we start going back. Okay, what are enzymes?
Listen.
Go ahead.
The sun doesn't send the chlorophyll.
I understand that. That's not what I said.
Right. Okay. Not you're not the one with the misunderstanding, John. The one with the misunderstanding was the one claiming that the sun is feeding the plants. Did that come clear?
No, you broke up.
Okay. The guy claiming that entropy disproves God was claiming that the sun is feeding plants.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he was talking about with that.
Well,
yeah, I don't either.
The way to get around entropy. Because it's feeding everything.
The only way to get around entropy, you can't. It's only temporary. Entropy can only be thwarted, just temporarily. The only two ways: you need energy, and then you need intelligent agency to overcome it. Those are the only two ways. The best way to look at it, if you could look at Maxwell's demon, I've got a good example of it here, but I'm not going to go through it, man. I'm winding up here.
Right, but do you see how his claim that photosynthesis somehow defeats entropy was self-defeating? That was my point.
Yes, it is.
So he asserted it as if it was obvious that the sun is increasing energy and causing new things to come alive. And I'm like, you have no understanding of what photosynthesis is if that's what you believe.
Well, said I've made that argument to him before because they say that they make that claim and make that statement, but they won't make any, like, I'll say, well, how do you account for all this things in between there? And they won't do it. And I think and a lot of it does come down as they've not done a lot of research and understanding on how DNA works, how photosynthesis works, how all this is occurring. They've not done it, and they just can make that statement without going any deeper. And that's been part of the problem. It's kind of like the Bible issue that we had earlier in the conversation. They make all these statements, but if you just scratch the surface and dig a little deeper, you'll see there's more going on,
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who have joined us in the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, for tuning in, hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, sharing and subscribing and all that good stuff. If you'd like to keep yourself occupied after this debate is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!